All right, we're back. We were having a conversation about Reels or TikToks or whatever platform calls whatever thing. How do you approach? Do you get a lot of stuff shared to you, both of you?
That's just a current iteration of communications between a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do with certain people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dante, our group chat. I get a lot from Robert D. varying degrees of them from Robert D.
Yeah, there's probably like 10 or 15 people that send me reels every day.
Yeah.
On IG.
Yeah. So how do you find the time to watch all of them?
Well, the crazy thing for me is outside of the DJ chat, most of the time I've already seen the reel.
Right.
So like right away I can be like, oh yeah, I saw this, like send a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'm usually, I don't have that many friend group or chats going on, so like that limits itself. And like things that are sent to me, it's usually things I'm interested in, so, like thankfully.
Yeah.
So like I do, usually I watch them on my drive home. And like the after work shit or the morning shit.
So I would say that 95% of the ones that are sent to me are jokes. So it's like,
they're all funny. Usually.
Okay. Because like I rarely do I get stuff that I'm like just interested in, like a topic. That
I mean, it's like interested in, meaning something I would want to watch.
Oh, okay,
like fucking people getting hurt.
Yeah. So I'm approaching them. I try to watch all of them. Sometimes I don't. If I know it's not for me, I'll back out. So I'm starting a new leaf. I want everyone to be aware. Every response that you're getting from me now is 100% real.
Is it a new leaf or did you just turn it over?
I turned it over.
Okay.
I turned this one over.
It's like the cool side of the pillow.
Yeah, that's the best side. So if I send you a thumbs up, it means I liked it. Mm-hmm. If I laugh, it means I laughed at it. If I send you a shocked face, that means I was shocked by it. If I send you a crying face, it means it made me sad. If I send you an angry face, it means it made me angry. I will send my own custom eye roll emoji from time to time just because it deserves it. Other than that, if I don't respond, I found what you sent to me unremarkable.
I mean, that is how I've been doing it.
So I always try to send something because I don't want to be rude.
You just react on the reel itself, like how you feel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. If I leave it alone, that means like.
So I never left it alone.
I'd be leaving it alone sometimes.
So I'm
like
leaving it alone.
If I get like 5 in a row from like Robert D or something, like I'm leaving it because I'm not watching 5 in a row. Like let me watch a couple before you send me more.
That's another thing. Is like I try to limit. You can usually tell when I'm on the internet because you'll get like a certain amount of reels and then you won't hear from me. So I try if I get to 3, I try to like nope. Like I'm just gonna get off this platform or I'll save it because I don't want to share it right now.
I do have a little save folder for send later.
Sometimes I feel bad because I'll send like 3 or 4 in a row, and then I'll find the one that I should have sent. And I'll be like, God damn it. Yeah. This was a really good one. And like,
I mean, once in a while, they're so good, I actually send a response, a reply.
Yeah. I just sent one to Gomez, but it's like the kitchen table chat. I just sent one there. And when I sent it, I went in just to check the chat, and the one right before it was Gomez sending it to me. I went in and deleted it. Which was funny.
Which means you're in the right group. You're interested in the same shit.
Yeah, I also quite enjoy like when I find something that's like kind of fucked up, and I look down at somebody I know has already hearted it.
Yes.
So that bothers me.
Why?
I don't want Instagram to show all of the people
what you like,
what I like.
You can choose to not like it. You can just like it in your heart.
I've decided I don't like if you see something recent that was that was hearted by me, it was an inadvertent
accident
because once I saw what other people were liking, I was like, oh, this is way too weird.
I don't think it's weird.
People
are too private for no reason.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
It's the internet. It's a public platform internet where everyone's looking at these things and a lot of people like them. So what's wrong with it?
But when it shows at the bottom, like, hey, this was liked by Bobby Skullface and 1.2 million other people, it shows him
Right.
Out of the 1.2
Right.
million
you
people.
know him.
Because you know
It
him.
shows everybody on your
But
friend
it
group.
doesn't say Bobby Skullface, Chris Pinkerton.
Right.
Even if all of us liked it, it doesn't.
shows one.
It just picks one random person.
Does it? But
Yeah.
if you click on it, though, it'll show you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to scroll through 1.2 million likes.
No, but they
No,
usually
it's- all your friends on top.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
stack them at the top.
Yeah, so it's just
So you can see which one of your friends are degenerates.
it's kind of like another person that we know got into Threads
Yes.
when it was brand new.
Uh-huh.
And didn't realize that the like if you went to their profile that it showed all of their activity like it was their feed. Right.
Are there a new one, dude?
and this guy's
well, because it was a new platform.
Right, but like it's not a new way of handling things.
No,
Media.
but
no, the way they did it,
It's worse.
it was way. I don't know what it's like now. I never got
Because
into
like Twitter was like that, right? You can see everything.
yes,
you ever do.
But like, so the difference was like, and I don't know if Threads has changed, but it used to be like if I comment on something, it like on Instagram, it might show up on your feed if it thinks that the algorithm is right for you, right? Or it's trying to turn you on to something because it's picking up a lot of people in your circle are liking it. So, but like with Threads initially, like anybody you followed, you saw all their activity. Like that was your feed, you know. So like,
Things are good.
No, like so you went to this person's page.
Yeah. I mean, you see everything they've ever written or liked or commented on. It might hold you accountable for not
But
saying
not
some
like
dumb shit.
Twitter,
Well-
where like you can go in and see like let me see like they were in a conversation loop
Yeah.
or something.
No, it's just everything.
This was just like this person liked this photo, said
Yeah,
this
yeah.
comment, liked this photo, and that person was saying some pretty crazy shit.
But that is like a.
I wouldn't say it, but it was, or some of it was crazy, but it was more like you thought it was a personal thing. It was almost like you thought,
I mean, it's not a private message, right?
no.
Then it's public. It's,
we're not
yes,
saying- we're not
yes,
saying it
but
was
there's a difference
against
between
yeah.
It's
The
public and then-
broadcasting.
Correct.
But I'm saying, like, if you are ashamed of some shit you're saying out into the ether, maybe don't say it. Like, that's one of those
Yeah.
things where, like, we all complain about the anonymous trolls, faceless trolls who just say whatever the fuck they want on the internet. Well, this is a thing that helps fucking prevent that shit.
yeah, I don't.
I understand you might not like it, but like it's on yourself to like self-regulate.
And I don't even necessarily want it in my feed.
Right.
You know.
But like I don't think it's a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad
inherently.
thing. It was
I'm not saying it's a
definitely,
bad thing either.
It definitely was.
It's just one of those like honest mistake type things.
Yeah.
And somebody pointed it out to him after a couple of weeks, and then all that shit was gone.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, but that should be the person, whoever, I don't know them, they should have some self-reflection. Like, maybe I shouldn't be saying all this shit if I don't want people to know.
Yeah. But
Right?
it's,
or like, unless it's a private chat, like we say some fucked up shit between ourselves, right?
yeah.
That we wouldn't want people to see, but we don't say that shit out in the open.
Yeah, but I think that like if like, and I don't need to stay on this because I don't really
Yeah.
care. But like if I were to like, let's say I follow like a drill page on Facebook,
Of course you do.
right? I don't actually. I don't. But all my drill
Take it in
shits,
following for you.
all my drill shits on Instagram. It's in my favorites. So this is how I keep track of all that shit. Is I follow a number of drill pages, right? And then when I go to favorites,
You have a group of them.
it's all of them
Yeah.
there. So once a month, I go back through and watch and listen to everything for the month
Yeah.
to keep track of what's out.
Yeah, I don't like when my worlds kind of collide.
Right.
Because I'll be in a different mood.
So if I'm on Facebook and I'm saying like you know, like that beat is crazy, but I just want it to be to that community, right? Like I don't necessarily want that popping up in like my supervisor's feed necessarily, because it's something that he doesn't understand, and I don't even want him necessarily to know that I'm into it, but I want to celebrate it. I just want to celebrate it on their page. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I understand your point.
Yeah, like it's I believe that you should be accountable for the things that you say and blah blah blah, and ultimately like I'm not ashamed of saying that beat is crazy.
But we don't need to
I just
spotlight it.
but I
on
just
for
don't want to
everybody.
spotlight it on somebody else's feed, like you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we've talked about my algorithm before, and it's completely fucked. But
Yes, it's all over the place.
part of it is just the number of things that other people send me,
Yeah.
If you've watched the reel, it gets into your algorithm.
and it's goddamn it,
Yeah,
too much.
it can be.
How many black-owned 304s do you have on your feed?
At least one.
What are 304s?
I don't know.
Hookers, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You call them that people call like OnlyFangirl 304. So like,
Where did that come from?
I don't know exactly.
I know 404. That's the website. It's not. It's website's down for now.
Yes. It's just one of those internet
Maybe
links
it's
I
a
pick up from
police
being
code?
online.
I wonder if I can.
Probably it's a police code.
I don't know. Maybe.
Let me.
That sounds about right. Like 187 or whatever
Yeah, yeah.
was popular back in the day.
So maybe getting arrested for prostitution is a 304.
Look, Bobby's looking at.
Yeah,
if we had
no,
an
if we
intern.
had an intern.
Yeah, yeah. If you'd like to apply,
Yeah, or bow.
It's not very like. I don't know. It's not a very enticing position. You want to sit in this cuck chair, not get paid, don't say anything, and just look up shit for us. Would you like to do that?
So speaking of cuck chairs,
Yeah.
so I was just on assignment earlier in the week, and great hotel room, like super prominent cuck chair. Like,
Do you think they put it there or the previous people?
Oh, because 304 in a calculator upside down resembles the word hoe.
Ah, there you go. Well, the ancient codes, the boobies.
or boobless.
Yes.
Or hell.
Yes.
Oh, HE double hockey. I mean,
The police code was a good guess, though.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So the cuck chair in this hotel room, they used it to block the adjoining door,
okay.
right?
Yep.
But it was like super out of place that they just put it there. Mm-hmm. So I had to take a photo of it and send it to a bunch
It's
of
weird that
people.
they need to put a chair to block. They should just have a lock on it.
And the crazy thing is, whoever was in that adjoining room, that motherfucker needed to start listening to his wife, because I was hearing the nagging at fucking 6:30 in the morning through the wall, and god damn, he needs to remember to take that fucking umbrella down to the beach and kick the sand off his shoes. And I was,
Is
like,
she wrong, though?
I'm not saying she's wrong, but I wanted to go over there and be like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And like pull him aside and be like, look, for both our sakes,
Take
can
the
you-
fucking umbrella down.
Can you just fucking listen?
Listen to her? Okay.
Because it's killing me.
It's fair. Farrell, you were here first. Joey, how was your nerd week?
Where do I start? Oh, so
The beginning?
I've talked about what if there's no beginning? Sometimes I multitask. Like if I'm driving, I'll see an accident and I'm watching YouTube at the same time. Which one do I talk about?
Oh, God.
Which happens, by the way.
The YouTube.
Bro, I saw
They're cracking down on that
last
shit.
week. I saw. I was like fucking almost an hour late to work because 70 was shut down, and like apparently I was at the end of it. I was lucky because they had a whole 70 shut down, but then when I was going to work, they were starting to opening up, and when I drove by, it was a burnt out fucking truck, like husk.
Is it between 32 and 29?
Yeah, I think it's like a truck trailer hit a semi trailer,
Yep.
and one of them died.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Fucked up.
That shit was like shut down for like 4 hours or some shit. I was
So
right
what's
at the end,
funny
and I
is-
did get to work
I was going to work that day too, but I was right like moments before it's
before it. Okay.
So I
was 4
was
hours after.
I was behind it, but I was
Oh, you saw it too.
I didn't see it, but I was close enough where it affected my work, and I was going to be stuck right in the middle of it.
Oh, that would have been fucked.
And I did an asshole thing that I've never done in my fucking life. I've never done it in my fucking life, but I did it. I was like, man, I'm not sitting in this shit. I made a choice, and I drove on the shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Took the shoulder all the way down and hit the exit, and I was
How
like,
far were you off?
quarter mile to a half mile. It
I
wasn't
don't
crazy.
think that's bad.
It wasn't
I don't-
crazy.
that's fair.
I think
That's
that-
fair.
No, that's not fair.
It's not fair, and everybody had to get off on that exit
Oh, that's not fair.
because
then.
it was shut down.
Okay, if everyone had to get off of that, then it's not. I thought like, everyone's going one way, and you just needed to get because sometimes it happens. You're in traffic, you just
Yep.
need to get to your fucking exit.
But I was sitting
but
there.
think about it too. Like, you're behind the accident, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be using that shoulder?
yeah, yeah. So
Everybody that's trying to go to help. And if you're like, hey, whoa,
me
I
first.
got something to do first.
Me
yeah,
first.
so that's not fair.
So
I was thinking about it in a different context.
I sat there for a while, and then I was like, man, I might fucking be late to work, and I started getting sick to my stomach, and I was like, nope, I gotta go.
I hate it being late.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
So I wasn't.
yeah.
And dude, when I drove past everybody, I 100% never made eye contact.
Lock forward.
It only cost you a little bit of your soul to get to work on time.
Hey,
But yeah,
But yeah, that shit was. I mean, I know it's a thing, and I should be over it by now because I've been alive for 40 something years. But traffic, because people slowing down to look at shit, is just one of the worst things ever to me. of human traits, of normal human traits. When I see some shit, I just go full speed ahead, straight through. I don't give a fuck. I might glance at it, but like people will break and slow down to look at shit,
And it's one
regardless
of
of
the
who's behind them.
It's one of the most dangerous nicknames for a person.
Yeah.
A rubbernecker.
Yeah.
If you say that too fast,
It's too close.
it's way too close.
Oh no!
It's too close. That's why I prefer using it in the sense where I can say rubbernecking.
So, yeah.
Then I remove myself from the whole thing. There's a couple of things that are like dangerously close to dangerous words that I just don't
Like that one country.
Like guilty by association.
I'll just remove myself from that whole.
Yeah, just they're also bad words.
Yep. I'll choose. I'll look up in the thesaurus. I'll try to get around that shit.
He's a gawker.
Yeah.
That was wild. I'm used to, one thing I am used to is people having full conversation in the bathrooms now. After having worked in Baltimore for so long, and people just taking dumps and FaceTiming, I can tell they're FaceTiming. That's normal too.
I need to
Apparently,
get into that.
That's wild.
people listen. I've heard people listening to sermons while taking a dump. That's normal. But I had the first conversation I've ever heard of this kind while someone's taking a dump. I just want out. Give me my divorce paper. I just want out. I don't care how it gets done. I'm done. I'm like, on the bowl, brother?
That's just upsetting his stomach.
So some might say the sermon and the divorce, they're just exercising their demons.
Yeah.
But that's like, I never thought that's a conversation you would have while you're taking a dump in a public hospital bathroom.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it must have been really bad.
I'm not big on like having my public conversation. I'm not big on having my private conversations in a very public place.
Yeah, same.
Like I'll remove myself or I'll like speak low or like I don't get the opposite. But there's a lot of people out there that have very private conversations
On
very
speakerphone.
public on speakerphone, FaceTime, like the whole like that is not me.
Well, let's be honest. There's too many people having speakerphone conversations in public.
For no reason, there's no reason for speakerphone conversations unless you're in a car hands-free device.
Right.
When else is it normal to have a speaker?
or they need to address the room.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is never the time in public usually.
Usually.
Like
Always
you would be in that room where everyone do want to hear.
Yeah, well,
normally.
maybe I'm at a restaurant and my dad calls and something, and it's for Father's Day. He's like, "Hey, Happy Father's Day!" Perfect.
But that's never the case now, is it?
No, not my dad. He doesn't know what my number is.
How was your
Every time I
father?
call him, he hits me with a who dis?
New phone, new phone, who this?
Same phone. Who dis?
But yeah, that was interesting. I washed my hands extra long to like listen more because I was really interested in where this was going. I walked in the
love
middle
that.
of it. I don't know how it started. I don't know if something happened while he was taking a dump and they started an argument. But yeah, that's one of those mysteries of life.
I told you no more corn.
I don't know why. We were talking about one time when
For your mom.
when how our parents or dads usually tell us not to cry, and the crying doesn't help. And now it's like we find out that crying doesn't not help. Actually, crying is not. Holding back crying is actually could be harmful.
Yes. So I think my pendulum with my father swung too far one way.
Yeah, mine was not that far, but we were the same generation.
But I do hold that virtue with my children, but it is a 50-50 split. Like, if it is pain, reasonable pain, we're not crying.
Physical pain, you mean?
Correct.
Yes.
If it's some emotional
Yes.
thing you're going through, I'm like, get it out. Let's cry. Like, I'll cry with you. Like, let's fucking cry about it. Like, I want to get it. I want to get to the bottom of it. My issue with the physical thing is, I guess there's a third. So there is an emotional wedge that I don't allow either, which is like just when something isn't going your way.
Oh yeah, that's just a tantrum.
Right? Because like in between the crying over physical pain and crying over something not going your way, like I have seen, let's take Selena's softball, for instance. I have seen children strike out and just cry and be inconsolable and all those sorts of things from striking out, right?
What's a scale to things? Like, where else do you go from there?
Now, Selena will get pissed, right? But that's a different emotion that we're trying to rein in. The other thing is I will also see like a kid get hit with a ball. And obviously it's smarts, but these kids aren't throwing 90-mile-per-hour balls. They're children.
Yeah.
And so like, I'll say this, like I've seen Selena take a number of hits and she just drops the bat and goes to first. Like, you know what I mean? And you might see her at first, like, you know, try to shake it off or something, but she's getting herself together, like to keep on moving. So like, I do think that crying has its place and is a healthy thing. Like, you know,
I mean, even with physical things, at a certain point, because it is a stress reliever.
At a certain
it's like
point.
like internal chemistry thing. That
so like when
helps.
Jaina broke her arm,
Yeah.
I didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Right. You're in severe pain.
Yes.
But when they just fall down and scuff their knee,
Yeah, no.
no, you got to get back up. You got to get back up and start figuring it out. And it's not so much for just looking like a pussy, although there is that too. It's also for just being able to handle what life serves you and continue pushing.
Yes.
Right. It's that's the lesson there for me to them. Like I remember one time we were walking to the bus, and I think it was Selena. It could have been Jaina though, because she's always fucking stepping over her feet. But she, one of them went down, and they went down on the sidewalk. Weren't paying attention.
Like home like safe at home, sliding in.
yes.
Looking for the up
Exactly. And obviously, because of my work schedule, it's usually me and all of the stay-at-home moms at the bus stop. So, like, when this happened, this, like, cycle or what do they call, like, a flock of mothers tried to jump.
Flock of mothers.
Tried to jump in.
Oh, are you
And
okay?
I was like, stop. Everybody stop. And they stopped. And I was like, get up. And she got up and she looked at me and I said, are you okay? And she said, yes. And I said, pull it together. She said, got it. And we went on to the bus stop, you know, but little moments like that are important to me.
That's a good lesson.
You know,
What do you think all the conversations from the flock?
oh,
mothers-
That monster.
what an asshole!
Yeah, monster. You know, just like that. I've told this story 1,000 times with that fucking softball day. Oh God, I like thinking about it. I can still feel hot, like in my body temperature raised.
Yeah.
It was like one of Selena's first couple practices. She played horrible, missed everything, did everything wrong you could do wrong, but she's just learning how to play, right? And she's trying, so like wouldn't have hurt a peep out of me. When she was done, she came back, collapsed onto my wife's blanket that she had on the field, and started sobbing. And I was like, "Get on your fucking feet!" And as soon as I said it, I could see in my peripheral vision everybody just looking at me.
Every record player in town screeched.
Yeah. And I said it loud, you know, and she stood up and I was like, pull yourself together, you know, and that was it. And she did. And then when we got home, I took her aside and I was like, look, this isn't even about the game or the whatever at this point. This is a life lesson. If you're that upset about something and you need to cry, you come home and you take a moment and you cry.
Get it out.
But do not show that level of weakness in public ever again. Because it may not be an issue now, but one day you'll be surrounded by a group of people that will eat you alive.
Yeah.
You know?
And
that shit matters to me, you know? And now have we just got news that her grandmother died and she had that reaction? I'm staying out the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that
Time and place.
That's worth it. That's worth however you're viewed in people's eyes. To have that moment and be able to release that moment for me is worth it.
Now, how long would you give her to be sad if the dog died?
About 20 seconds.
I mean, they've had dog die.
Yeah, but this one in particular. The other ones I was more okay with them being upset. This one, let's celebrate its life. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you know, but the last dog died on air.
That's a
They
fact.
died.
That's a fact.
Oh, really?
Smeagol died while we were recording.
That's a fact.
We stopped
and
recording.
it's still in the episode. You can hear Laura come down and like shriek, "Smeagol's dead."
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we took him to the.
And we
And me and him took him to the.
Joey and I bagged him up in a trash bag.
Yeah, because he pooped
He had
himself.
shit all over himself.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, that sucked.
And then you cried for the carpets?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was outside too, luckily, but he was like, he kind of went on it. This is a morbid, but he kind of went on his own terms. Like he knew
seems like it.
He knew he
Yeah.
was done. He clawed at the door to be let outside. He went outside, lay down as far away as he could within comfort from the house, and died.
It's like that line from Donnie Darko. Every living thing dies alone.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he got to be out in the sunshine, and like it's not
Yeah.
the worst death.
No.
If you just get to lay down and just
he
die,
loved it. He loved like to lay down in the sunshine. Like
Yeah.
he was a simpleton. He was a good-hearted dog, though,
Yeah.
not like my dog. He was a good-hearted dog. He was just an idiot.
He was always
know?
under our feet farting the whole show.
Yeah, but he would lay right here the whole time.
Just fart.
Just loved to be in our company, and heart of gold, but just a
I missed-
fucking
missed
idiot.
him. He was dumb, but I missed him.
And then Bam. Did you know Bam?
I met her once, twice.
Bam.
yeah.
So we waited.
She
too
was
long.
much smarter.
Yes, she was insanely smart, and she was also one of them dogs that like she only listened when she wanted to listen, but she knew everything that you were saying.
Yeah.
I used to say when in her prime, when we lived at the townhouse, I used to be able to say like in the middle of the night if we heard something because some luncheon ass shit happened over in that neighborhood. But one time cops like banging on my door, they're like, "Who's in your backyard?" I was like, "What?" And there was sure enough people in my backyard like with guns and shit. Like it was.
Oh my God.
They were running from something else.
Yeah.
But
We had that recently, right? Didn't some people break out of prison like around somewhere,
I do vaguely remember.
and they didn't catch everybody.
Yeah. Dude, free the guys, man.
Tell you what,
Free the guy. You don't even know who these guys are. You don't even know.
I was just saying it as a joke,
Yeah.
but anyway, like I used to say to Bam, check.
Yeah.
And she would go down and check the door, go down the basement, check the basement door, and then she'd come up like, "We're good," like she was great. We waited too long for her.
Yeah.
Like because she was like, we had to scoop her up and carry her to take her to have her put down. She was done, but like. That one sucked, dude. Like I remember like sitting there with her, Laura's on the other side, we're like holding her, petting her as like they're like giving her the fucking shot.
can you move your right hand because that's where I'm going to put the shot. in.
Exactly, dude. And I felt like God went into the back of my head and found like a valve and just like lefty loosey all
Hey,
the way.
remember that whole like no crying thing?
Go fuck yourself,
Dude, it was
Good
coming
luck with this, buddy.
because I was leaning over. It was coming out of my eyes, my nose, my mouth. Like it was like the string that went between the two. Like it was a fucking mess.
Even either the vet's like, hey,
Pull yourself together, lad. Yeah.
but not for this dog.
No, for this dog, I'll be like,
yeah, this vet would be like, hey, you got the kids here. You might want to show a little bit of emotion. Man to man, I think that's just, do you need some water to put in your eye?
what else do you have?
Let's see. I started Andor last night. I think 4 episodes in. So far, in my notes says so far can be summed up as amateur hour.
Oh,
Like everyone, like not maybe not the show production, but like everything that's presented in the show, like all these events and all these people are like amateur hour. Like, what are they doing? I don't understand. Like, I am intrigued in some of the plot, but then a lot of it is shit I don't care about that just annoys me. Like the shit with the mom, like the
dude,
guys fucking.
Well, but so I think like that was the point though. What they were amateurs.
Right,
Because
but it's like so much so that it's like cartoonish.
yeah, it is hard.
That's the
It is
problem.
hard to believe.
I can understand amateur hour.
in those first two specifically, because that's the deal with the people in the jungle planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's just cartoonishly stupid.
Yeah, that was the ones that people were really critical of.
Yeah, yeah.
I remained in for a penny, in for a pound. But yeah, those two in particular. How many episodes did you say you were in?
I think 4.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said,
So like they're on Coruscant now.
Okay.
And he just got sent on a mission. He's about to leave
Yeah. There's
to Spider Planet.
Yeah, so there is like the climax of the Spider Planet story is a really good episode.
The Spider Planet is a little bit interesting, but it's just kind of like out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's just like, man, that show is. I'm glad people love
Saw
it.
Gerrera just showed up.
I'm
also.
glad people love it, but that's my favorite bits.
Of course,
Um,
2 tubes.
yeah.
2 tubes was laughing.
Two
You love
tu-
the 2 tubes.
two
laughing.
tubes.
4 tubes.
4 tubes, but
Like 2 chains, but 4 tubes.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think that episode is great, and then the closing episode is fine. But like, it's just like it's butter over too much toast.
Even the opening is just like, y'all were so good that you could infiltrate prototype test fucking TIE fighter base and be able to steal it, but you have no idea how to drive it whatsoever at all. And like whenever you see a fucking TIE fighter, I guess it's a special TIE fighter. Any other time you fucking tap it, that shit explodes. And he was just fucking running that shit into the side of fucking cliffs, and it's just perfectly fine. And
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's a prototype.
Yeah.
right.
They were like,
Stronger armor.
these are too expensive.
I feel like they hammed it up too much. Like the premise is not bad. Like the amateurs on the planet's not bad. Not knowing exactly how to drive a fucking new plane is not so bad. It's just like they took it too far and became cartoonish.
The hamming does slow down for what it's worth, but the kind of like relentless drooling dialogue ramps up.
Oh no, I like the my Mothra like political stuff.
Yeah, well,
That's interesting.
There's plenty more. There's plenty more. I mean, I felt like I was watching Space CSNBC the whole time, or whatever it is.
Space,
MSNBC. What is the one where they like just C-SPAN, where they just show the fucking shit? God. Yeah. I love that people have taken to that show because I want Star Wars to be loved.
I mean, it's better
but
than others.
But selfishly, I just want to love it too.
Yes, no, I agree. Like I wish I liked it more because I liked the first one. So far, the first season was by far better.
It's far better.
So like I don't know if it's different people or what. Andor himself is great. Andor and the main girl and his girlfriend. They're great.
I think the acting is great.
Yeah.
It's shot well.
Yes, I guess it's
But
direction.
I think that this is back to the same thing that we said before. Is like it's not enough actual Star Wars,
Yeah.
right? It's like and like Chris said that he likes the spy game part of it, but it's just
I mean, yeah,
it's that with the Star Wars like cloak over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bits that's actually in it aren't really Star Wars.
somewhat. That part doesn't bother me so much because like the world feels Star Wars. It's just like more of the bolt nuts and bolts of the world instead of just spaceships and Jedis. It's like this is how a real world works. This is politics. This is the
people would say that that's exactly what they're looking for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with this show, and I'm okay with it too because I like the first one, and I would say the first one is in that pocket, but the first one had like stuff to do.
Yes.
And I feel like this one, there wasn't a whole lot to do.
Not much so far. It's just a bunch of things like trying to happen, but nothing really happens.
A lot of staircases.
And a lot of
people going up them.
Yeah.
People coming down them.
And
And the hallways.
In the hallways and sitting on benches.
Oh, benches. I love a good bench.
and some of it is weird because like you haven't seen Star Wars. We have seen the Star Wars world in many different ways, but you never seen like plastic wrapped donuts or candy machines.
Yes.
And I'm not sure exactly how Star Wars is. I'm not saying it's off-putting, but I'm just like, I haven't seen anything quite like it.
And the other thing is, like, I think that this would have made a really solid 2-hour movie.
I haven't seen the whole thing, so
But it's just it's so much bread, it's so much toast, and it's just a little slice of butter.
I like the PTSD aspects of it, of like what war is and killing, and like I like philosophical stuff like that. But like I don't know, I'm like on the fence about it right now.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to hear more about your journey as you continue.
Yeah, and like the side of planet just seems like because I recently watched Sherlock Holmes, it just seems like the 1850s London to me, like the style and the talk. It seems old timey.
That might have been a conscious choice just because of like all the World War II like inspiration for the original trilogy.
Yes, but it doesn't. That part of me, I mean, that part of it was the only part that like kind of took me out of it. That doesn't feel like a Star Wars world.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I'm enjoying it enough to keep watching. I don't hate it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Take what you can get.
So, my parents are getting a house in Ferric.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they're been talking about it for years, but they're going to finally retire. Hopefully, if all goes well, they will have sold their business by September. And
That's awesome, man. Make some noise for that.
And they'll be moving into Frederick to be like closer and stuff.
That's great.
But it's funny because to see, I think my mom has gotten out of touch a bit with like regular people. So I always tell you I grew up poor, right? My mom was part of it. My grandparents,
Sure.
my father, and it makes me behave a certain way. But I think my mom, because my parents do much more well off for themselves than us. My dad's perfectly normal. But my mom, I think, has gotten to the point of being bougie without realizing it.
That's my favorite type of Asian.
She doesn't know. And I'm just like, bro, we grew up so poor. How did you end up like this? So we were at Waffle House. Because she knows I love, my dad loves Waffle House. She's like, oh, you guys love Waffle House? I go to Waffle House. And then she was asking me, like, can she like customize stuff on the on what she orders? I'm like, Mom, don't bother these people. Just order what's on the fucking menu. And then when the waitress comes, she just like start asking like, oh, can you add this or exchange this for that? And I'm just like, it's so fucking cringy at a Waffle House. We're not at a restaurant. At a restaurant, I understand it. Ruth Chris Steakhouse, be like, you know, I want this a la carte. I want this a little bit more rare, or whatever. But at a Waffle House, you don't ask. To me,
Yeah, if you want bacon, just get a side of bacon.
yeah, like these people don't make much. Like we're in a Waffle House. Like, don't bother them. And like, it was cringy to me. Like I've never felt out of place at a Waffle House till that day. And I've gone to Waffle House with my dad, just me and him before, because Mom doesn't really like Waffle House. But I felt out of place. I'm just like, bro, we're like the out of place rich guys pretending to be pedestrians. That's what it seems like. Sometimes you see that, like fucking when Trump was like wearing a hard hat, driving a truck, whatever. I felt like that, and I felt like hot.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just like that feeling. I'm just like,
How do you make this thing move?
so yeah, it's weird to see. And I know I wasn't very disgruntled or anything because I know she didn't mean anything by it. She just doesn't know better anymore. I just don't know how people get to that point. But then, you know, rich people who are super rich and act super rich, like I can understand now because I've seen it in my own personal life. How having too much money for too long will change you as a person. You don't even know how you get there.
That's why I spend mine as soon as I get it.
It's like, but seriously, like the Asian bit, like I love going to Tyson's.
Oh my god!
And seeing like that, like because those Asians,
the crazy rich Asians,
they're so meticulous in how they put themselves together. Like and like I'm a person that takes note of that sort of thing. Like and it's like holy fuck. Like I'll look at it. It looks casual at first,
yes,
and I'll take a second glance and notice the details in the casualness, and I'm like, oh no, this bitch is put together. It just looks like she's just out for a stroll, you know. And I'm always, I think, especially in a world where when I go to the grocery store, 90% of the women are in fucking athleisure pants and swooshy shirts. That for me, it's just nice. It's always a breath of fresh air to see people really take pride in their appearance. It's like, I don't know, I find it inspiring, and I also find it more pleasurable to look at.
Well, I mean, yeah, more pleasurable to look at. This thing. And so, like the diamond ring Krista has is like regular size to me. Regular size. I'm not the most brilliant because I got it for her like 10, 15 years ago before I started making money. And this is what she's been wearing. So my mom buys like so much stuff that she gets like rebates. Mm-hmm. So she had so much rebate. She got a ring for Krista, and when she showed it to me, I'm like, that's too nice for her. Like, I'm sure she'll like it, but like that's not our style. That's going to look out of place. It's like a 0.75 carat, perfectly fucking brilliant fucking diamond. I'm like, that shit catches too much eye, and that's not
diamonds only.
And it's too big. She's like, that's small. That's not even a carat. I'm just like, Mom, how do you get like this?
And she got that for free?
How did you get like this? Yeah, she got it for free. It was like. It's like GE. I don't even know what's called. Some sort. It came with a certificate, and she was like, "Yeah, I had like a $4,000 coupon, so I just got this."
I mean, with wealth, your perspective changes.
I know, but like we are well off, but I don't feel like maybe it has, and I don't realize it. Maybe some people I grew up with will look at me and be like, "You changed," but to me, I'm just like, I feel like I'm not out of touch like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not out of touch like that too, but
and we might be.
My taste. I mean. Like, you know, I grew up on flank steak. I wouldn't go near a flank steak now. You know, like
wow.
And there's gray tips that he's wearing.
So that's
$45 a piece.
No, that's to keep me humble. I wear Costco socks. That's to keep me humble.
Costco socks with the $500 sweatpants.
Yeah,
gray tips and $500 sweatpants.
You know, but I'll still wear a cheap pair of sweatpants.
Yeah,
you know, but like
not out though.
No.
Perspective change
around the house.
Yeah,
and maybe out for a walk.
To the
right?
mailbox.
Don't want to sweat in the other ones, you know.
Don't want to sweat in them sweatpants.
Yeah, but like I think that like I mean I think some of that is like just it's natural, right? Like I ate ketchup sandwiches, sugar sandwiches, syrup sandwiches, and now
Ketchup and a
I'm
piece of
not
cheese on
having
bread is pizza.
and now I'm not having that. You know, and if somebody's like, "Hey man, you want me to break you off a ketchup sandwich?" I'd be like, "I don't even want you to mention that to me ever again."
So you're farther gone than I am. I still eat flank steak and bullshit and ramen.
Yeah, and I mean flank steak's not awful, but
But I'm saying like I still choose to eat like these things.
yeah. So I'll still have a peanut butter and jelly. You know,
Still have a Red Baron pizza.
I'll still have a Red Baron pizza, but like
DiGiorno.
but I just won't like there are certain things I guess I should say it like this. There are certain things that I was able to experience as I've acquired more wealth. Not to say that I'm fucking rolling because I'll tell you
we do well for ourselves, but then we're not like fucking wealthy.
every week before my check hits, we need it.
But that's due to you be able to spend whatever you spend. You could spend less.
Well, usually not me, but yes.
I mean, in general, y'all could spend less and have more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dog needs a $5 plush toy. and
Yep.
There's a
$12.
Well, dude, we need fucking 86 fucking action figures.
Well, that's not coming out of that money.
Well,
I know you see it
which shelf
separately,
are you
but
choosing to?
But
to
like
mix
for
the
me,
86?
and most people, a household income is a household income.
Right,
Like your
but-
money, the money you make is the money you make. You have that
Sure,
money.
but what I'm saying is that like,
you choose to spend it a certain way.
If I was, yeah, but I wouldn't be doing this
Mm-hmm.
because this stuff came from me wanting to acquire
Right,
the
right,
thing.
right.
So like, if I didn't want those things, I wouldn't have done this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have just been living a normal life where you have a 9 to 5 and your wife has a 9 to 5 and whatever. And when you look at just that money, like our household money. Like at the end of 2 weeks, we're in need of a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, so like, but because of the amount of money that we make, like I was able to experience things that I wasn't able to experience as a child, and that has had an impact on my taste. Right.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want flank now.
yeah, it's like I don't buy action
Because I
figures,
know
I don't
this
buy statue.
right. I know this other thing exists.
I think the difference is like, I don't know if I'm speaking for you or not. It's like when I spend stupid money, a lot of money, like on fucking cardboard. I know that I'm spending a stupid amount of money, whereas I think my mom doesn't realize what stupid amount of money is anymore. I think that's a difference. Like when you don't realize that you're spending stupid money, when you're like a 0.75 carat ring is not that big. It's like you don't realize.
Yeah, when you're throwing $4,000 around like you found it in your pocket when you pulled a pair of sweatpants out of the dryer.
Right. Like,
I forgot about this 8-inch, stack of hundreds.
Yeah.
Just chuck it on the counter and move on.
yeah, I think it's the mentality of it that's different.
yeah.
I watched Now You See Me 1 and 2 with.
Now you don't.
No, don't. It was okay. It was Woody Harrelson and fucking Morgan Freeman, so it can only be so bad. And Jesse Eisenberg? Question mark.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Well, a bunch of magicians pulling heists
Yeah, the
for the greater good, perhaps.
Yeah, the
Question
second
mark?
one-
Oh, you watched them too.
Yeah, lowercase w.
Yeah, same,
Was the
same.
second
It
one
was
where
on.
they were like in a abandoned building? They put on a party, like on the roof or something. Or was it
Yes.
the end of the first one?
That was the end of the first one.
Okay.
The second one was like the fake plane.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see the whole second.
Oh, and Alfred, what is it? Alfred from Batman Begins.
Okay.
So, like,
Michael Caine.
Yeah, a bunch of good actors.
Yeah.
So like it was very entertaining. It's just a crazy premise, but
I've seen people do great impressions of Michael Caine, and it's so good when they like talk about how they do it. Like, you have to slow it down, and like, but I can't do it. But the way they do it is like, it's like, oh shit, like they have it, they figured out like the formula. But yeah, good. Now You See Me 1
Now
and 2.
You See Me 1 and Now You See Me 2. Interesting show if you like.
It's Now You See Me
hi-
TOO.
Yeah. If you like high show, what was I didn't like about it is just
The
as
magic.
No, I love magic. Hello,
Card
Excuse me?
games up close.
Yeah, all of it. I love all of it. It's like the first movie. They had like 3 dudes and a chick, right? And the second movie, they had the same 3 dudes and a different chick. And they explained it as, oh, this chick left and we got a new chick. And I'm just like, are you really just doing diversity hires like that now?
Yeah.
And also the fact that they treated the second new chick who was newly introduced to this team the same way they treated the old chick, like they've had all this bond together. I'm like, this is a new chick. Why are you treating her so
Must
good?
have just been a scheduling conflict with the first one.
It's like a plot hole to me.
Yeah.
It's just like when you say if relationships aren't earned in like shows, you're like, you guys just met. Why are you acting like you're brothers?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
Enjoy that. What else? Chris is not here, and he doesn't dream, so that's perfectly fine. I have a question. Do you guys have ever experienced the world between sleep? I've been having it more and more. Like right.
I might. Talk to me.
Right when you're like falling asleep, you're not asleep, but you're not awake, and you have experiences of something happening or memories that you can't hold on to. Like in the moment, like you remember something, and then when you try to remember it again, it's like that never happened, and I don't even know what I was remembering.
I think so.
That is it's just like a whole other existence I'm in.
Yeah, mine, sometimes like I'll be thinking about something, and as I'm falling asleep, I can't distinguish where I'm thinking about the thing and it's a dream that I'm having.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the one where like you can control it?
No, because as soon as you try, you wake. To me, you wake up.
You realize you're dreaming because you're not quite asleep yet.
So there's I think it's similar, but I did read that there is a way that almost like you can train yourself where when you're in that state, you can control your dream more.
I know what I'd be doing.
I mean, I do have dreams in which I can control my dreams once I realize it, but this is a very specific state of in between. And it's not the dreaming part or being able to dream that interests me. Is that I have in the moment vivid memories of things that I can't hold on to, and I'm not sure if anyone has that kind of like experience. It's hard to even.
I also
explain.
I've mentioned this too. I can feel my hearing shut down.
That's crazy.
Like because usually I go to sleep watching something or listening to something.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way I can usually fall asleep. And when I go into that state and then I try to wake up from it,
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Oh.
And then I can hear my phone kick back on, like in my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't see things with my mind's eye.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
all of my dreams are just
Concepts, like ideas.
like I can remember what happened, but not in the same state of me actively thinking about something now. I don't see
You
it.
can't visualize it.
It's just
That's so interesting
the
to me.
experience of it. So I can wake up and say, yeah, like my dream was about, I was in this room and everything like that, but I can't see any of the things.
You can't like close your eyes and
It's
picture.
just like
Yeah.
me, like if I wrote it down and showed it to you.
Yeah.
Like that would be my version of remembering something.
But that's
just
not even
fact-based.
yeah. It's not even words to you though. It's just like it's
just
a concept that
It's just
exists.
all, like if I were to bullet point out an experience, that's how I remember things.
Wow.
Like, oh, this person was wearing a blue shirt. This person did this.
Your brain is interesting to me because not like it's,
Fucked up.
no. I mean, it's just the fact that I'm such a visual person. Like even in my mind, that I can't imagine what it's like to. Well, it's like describing what blue is to a person
blind
born
person.
blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna finish with this. Watch Predator: Kill of Killers.
Oh yeah.
Is anthology, like animated, 3D animated
Yes.
anthology. There's like 3 stories, but actually it's a 4th one. I didn't realize. I thought it was an anthology. The 3 stories tied together at the end with a final story. I liked it. You get to see more of the predator world. You get to see different kinds of predators. The stories themselves are interesting because they're of the people there. But I don't know if I like the final concept of. You're not going to watch this.
I don't think so.
So they show the predator world and what they do with people, like, and it's different than what you thought, or what they have shown in the past in movies. And while I like worlds being expanded, I'm not sure I like this direction because it makes them to be completely different than who they seem to be. Predators always seem to be like kind of like honorable hunter type tribal thing, and this makes them to be much more villainous. And I'm not. And I don't have a problem with them being villains, but like they were just not presented that way to me.
Yeah.
before. So like, are you gonna watch this? Probably not. Okay. So in the past, in movies we've seen, even in stories, so like if somebody were able to best a predator, right? They're like, oh, great honor. Here's a fucking trophy, and we fuck off,
Right.
Or sometimes they'd be like, oh, you're so good. You want to come with us? We can all hunt together.
Right.
And that's happened. So and this one, if you kill a predator, if you're so good, they will capture you, put you in like frozen, like cryo sleep, and then like they will like bring you back to like fight over and over again until you die. So like at the end of this, you see a bunch of pods of like frozen people in the past, and then you can see the girl from Prey, the Native American girl from the last movie who did win. I'm like that really takes the win out of the sails
I
of
agree.
that. Yeah,
I agree.
right. It's like so it doesn't matter if you win. Like there's no winning.
Again.
Yeah, you're going as soon as you're selected to be the hunt, you're
either
going to die.
Yeah, and like it makes everything moot. Like her victory now is moot.
Yeah,
because she
I agree.
didn't- Yeah, so I don't know. I don't like this concept of the Predators. So I'm not sure where they're going with that. But they've that franchise has been kind of going all over the place.
Yeah.
we'll see. They have other stuff that's not important. I can move.
What do you got, Farrell?
Well, I don't know if you needed to cut it short.
I mean, I can add.
We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back to like when with a discussion section of the
Yeah.
show.
So I watched very little because I had a work trip.
Yep.
So
On assignment, yes.
yeah, it was on assignment. So I started watching the Alto Nights, the De Niro double role Frank Costello movie.
Okay. Oh yes, the Costello movie. Yes.
And it's interesting.
What is that on?
Max?
Is it?
Yeah.
But Bobby's like, oh, we're in.
So like, and I think I just unplugged myself.
I think it was his opening his Coke can that bottomed it out.
So like I want to like it. Right? Like
I know that
it
feeling.
has all,
I have a feeling a lot.
It has the right
Yeah.
feel. It's shot well. Like it's a story that we kind of know already, but being told a little bit more in depth. But I'll tell you the double De Niro thing.
The double De Niro.
Because he plays two roles in it.
like Eddie Murphy.
Exactly.
But
Or
This is in many ways the Nutty Professor of Robert De Niro.
and sometimes it shows your chops, like a
Sometimes it-
Parent Trap.
Sometimes it does.
Parent Trap.
Sometimes it does. And not to say that he doesn't have the chops for it, but just like I just feel like I don't see a reason why he had to
Right.
why not just hire another actor?
ask Eddie
Or
Murphy
why
that.
not finally give us the De Niro Pacino movie that everybody's always wanted?
so the hard part was, and maybe I'm developing like adult onset ADHD or something where like I have a hard time focusing on things that don't grab me right away. But it's like I'm watching the movie and like I'm forgetting which one he is because it's the same voice.
Right.
So I mean, that's not a you thing. I don't think. I think they didn't do.
They did try to make them visually different,
Yeah, but the acting has to be. They have to be distinct characters.
but it's the voice. So it's like if I look away, I'll be like, oh fuck, like which guy is it?
God, can you imagine if they had the moment between the two of them? Like, you're good. You are very good.
That's either on him or on the directing then, because
Yeah,
like
so-
I've known twins in my life. They don't speak the same. They have the same voice, maybe, like but they're different people.
Yeah, so I turned it off to save it to try again because I found myself like getting lost between the two characters, and I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong headspace. I need to come back and watch it. Like turn the lights out, maybe sit like in a dark room. Maybe I should have seen it in the theater. You know what I mean? So then right after that, I watched Goodfellas just because it started.
Palate cleanser.
It started like a.
You might also enjoy this.
But it started like I was like, I need a good gangster movie. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, I'll just go back to the old tried and true.
Doesn't get much better than that one.
And I was like, okay. That
Motherfucker, man.
That itch got scratched.
That motherfucker is no joke. I'll tell you that, and I only promote this movie because it would never get the type of fanfare that Goodfellas got. Not to say that it deserves the same type of fanfare, mind you, but there's a movie out there called Paid in Full. It stars Omar Epps, or no, Mekhi Phife, Omar Epps, maybe. No, just Mekhi Phife, Cameron. of all people. And then another guy, the guy who plays, I think he plays Akon Barksdale in The Wire. I can't remember his name.
He's a British guy.
No, not that dude. That's Stringer, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's about this guy AZ, Alpo, and I forget the other guy's name. Rich, I think. And the three of these guys like basically created the hand-to-hand drug trade in America as we know it. And it's like a 2-hour movie about that story. It's very true to the source material from what I can tell from listening to interviews with the survivors of the stuff and shit. And but it's shot well, it's acted well, like it's really, really well done. But I think because it's set more in that like hip hop world that like people wrote it off as like a rap movie, but it's not. It's like it's extremely well done. And I always advise if you like Goodfellas and you like that like the real criminal world look at things,
Like Casino.
like Casino, of course, Joey and I's favorite. Then you'll like Paid in Full, and it's great and so many quotables and. More quotables than Andor. I can tell you that fucking much. More quotables that have survived than Andor. That Paid in Full has more quotable lines that have stood the test of time than Andor ever will.
So Andor, get your fucking shine box.
yeah. There's another one. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Yep. So I watched a couple episodes of Meet the Chimps. Mm-hmm. You know, which is always just great. Just more
Monkey Madness,
more apes. So the assignment trip was interesting. Over on the eastern shore here, and the fucking weather was terrible.
Oh, it was rainy as fuck.
It was rainy.
This past couple, yeah.
It was cold.
Last week.
Yeah, it's like that's like my vibe.
You know,
I like it.
Yeah, but like when you're at the beach,
Yeah, so like a heavy rain at the beach is a bummer, but like an overcast at the beach, sign me the fuck up.
See, I
That's a fucking vibe. Shorts and hoodie on a beach with the wind blowing and the gray skies and the water ripping a little bit more because of the wet. Like,
so that's the problem.
sign me up.
It
You ready
wasn't
for an album
shorts.
cover?
It wasn't shorts and hoodie weather. It was in between.
Oh,
So it was like during the day it was like 80,
gross.
and at night it like dropped down to like 60. But like it was always uncomfortable,
Perfect.
right? So it's
That
like
sucks.
I'm walking around with a fucking hoodie just preparing for 10 p.m.
Right.
And then I was fucking too cold at like 11 p.m. It's like, this is garbage.
That's a wash.
Yeah, so I went there, and I don't think I've like anything else. Like I tried to watch it.
That's not true. We watched Superman.
Oh, we did watch Superman.
We watched Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Started you on the DC
Man of
journey.
Steel with
Henry Cavill.
Okay.
Yeah, when did we watch that? Like Thursday or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Did you do any more Clone Wars?
No. So like
Which is fine.
Yeah,
no
that's fine.
pressure.
no, it was just because so we watched Man of Steel on Thursday, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
Friday was like packing, getting ready to go on this trip. Saturday drive, then the actual work event from Saturday night until Wednesday morning. So like I was drinking a bunch, you know, definitely not a time to put Clone Wars on like in the hotel room at 1 o'clock in the morning with like, you know, 6 buffalo wings, you know, in the corner, fucking.
So some would argue that's how Clone Wars is most often consumed.
correct.
Yeah, with like 14 Bobby Skullface Orange Crushes on board.
Talk to
God.
me.
I mean, I was
14. Yeah, right.
so I will tell that story. So it was like Sunday night, and there's this big like opening to this convention.
Pinkerton will be here in 20 minutes.
Nice.
So there's this big like opening party to this convention, right? So everybody that I knew thought that this party started at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, great. It's like 4:30. I finished up with the work stuff that I had to do. Went back, started crushing, I don't know, White Claws or some dumb shit in the hotel room. Hotel room balcony was amazing. pool view and ocean view.
Oh, that was always weird to me. The pool in front of the ocean.
But that the one I sent in the group chat.
Yes.
Right. So like centered up on the hot tub, so like all the hot moms were there.
Perfect.
Like, you know, only on the second floor, so like I have bad eyesight, so like I could actually see things.
As soon as you
still.
said it, the underside of my dick tingled. I swear to God. I swear to God. You know that underside part towards the top? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was like,
Frenulum, I believe.
It's my favorite part.
the frenulum.
so like
Should learn that word.
I didn't want to go to work because at like 8:30 in the morning, they're fucking out there.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what
Right.
that's
And
what they're
like,
there for.
That's when the kids are still upstairs.
Yeah.
And just the moms are down at the fucking
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
So it was great. So I'm like crushing White Claws or whatever in the room, preparing for this. And I'm like, oh shit, the party starts in a couple minutes. So I go out, get on the bus, go in, 40 streets down on, go down there. And then somebody texts me and they're like, hey, like, we're planning on getting to the party a little late, probably like 7:30. And I was like, that's more than a little late. And they're like, what do you mean?
Fashionably
It
late.
starts at 7.
Right.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what am I going to do like an hour early to this motherfucker?
Right.
So I stopped off, went into my favorite bar down there, the American Legion. Right.
Of course.
So once you're a member at one, are you a member at all?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
So like go in there, and of course they've got slot machines and like it was like so in Ocean City, most of the beer is between $6 and $8 a beer, right? And that's like the cheap shit.
Yep.
The American Legion's
to
still
see it.
holding strong at $3 a fucking beer, right?
To see it.
So I go in there. I'm like, yeah, I'll take 3 Modelo drafts. And they're like, just for you, like, and I'm like, yeah. So I go sit down at the slot machine, and I'm drinking beer, and I win like $450 or something.
Oh, we're up.
Pay my little $15 bar tab on the way out, and get back on the bus. Get down to where the party is. They're selling commemorative cups, and then you can do like a $10 cup, and it's a $5 crush after that. But before it'd be $9 or whatever the fucking math is. I've just got like $400 in cash in my pocket. Whatever, sure, take it.
Crush.
And then about 11 o'clock, I realized, in all of that, I never ate.
Oh.
I hadn't eaten since breakfast
Oh my god. Just orange crushes
at
and beer.
7:30 that morning. So, and how I remembered all of this was something clicks in me when I'm drinking, where it's like, it's time to go. Like,
That's good voice to have.
Yeah.
it's Irish goodbye. It is, but it is not a pretty sight. Like,
Floppy feet.
and I'm just like zoned in on like, I need to get home. So I get on the bus, and like things are starting to spin, and then it hits me, and I'm like, I haven't eaten in like fucking 20 hours or some bullshit like that. And it was made it to the hotel room, and I remember like opening the door, and then it's nothing. And then I wake up, and I'm like, shoes on, like Hawaiian shirt, face down in the bed. Like bed is still like covers up, and
Yeah.
it's just me and like a pile of drool on the pillow. And I was like, holy shit.
Lucky you didn't just fucking choke to death.
I mean, like, yeah. So Bobby Skullface crushes.
Good times had by all.
Put me down, buddy.
Vodka's tricky, man.
Yeah, and I don't drink that much vodka anymore.
Yeah,
So,
I drink a fair amount of vodka, and it's what I love it because I love it because it's light and I think it's smooth. But like the thing that fucks me up about vodka, I always say it, is I don't trust it. Because when I drink vodka, when I drink any other alcohol, I'm like I'm drinking so much, and this is me walking into being
It's a
drunk.
pace.
Yeah, this is me walking this red line here, and I'm doing it for those listening. My index finger, middle finger are my legs, and I'm just walking on into getting drunk. Just here we go, guys. Let's go get drunk. Vodka's like this: little step, little step, little step, little step, little step. One more sip. All right, now you're here. Like I don't understand why, but and I have to piss more when I drink vodka for whatever reason. Like
yeah,
little pissy pants.
I don't remember how much I pissed on different alcohols, but I do call it teleporting. where I think the medical thing would be browning or blacking out.
Oh, that's just shitting yourself.
You know?
Browning.
So it's like little sections of the memory are completely.
That's how I feel about like edible brownies back in the day. I smoked a lot, smoked every day, but like I was never tolerate brownies like that. It was like you're not high, and then it's like I don't know where I am.
Yeah,
It's never it's never the right amount of brownies to eat. And we made our own brownies.
Well, that's another thing about smoking because you can feel yourself. You can tell you're high.
Yeah, because even when
You can be like, okay, that's it. Just pass this somebody or anybody want the rest of this? Like, because I'm high now. I know I'm high.
We got to the promised land.
And that's the
edibles. It's like, man, I don't know, man, and I don't want to waste these motherfuckers. Do I need one more?
That's the problem. And I'm used to big hits because like you passing a joint is like communal, right? You're hanging out.
Yeah.
It's like drinking. You slowly get in there, but like we like to get fucked up. So I make gravity bongs. So you just take one big hit and you're like from zero to you where you want to be.
Right.
But brownies were beyond that. I'm used to big hits. I know how to get super high, but brownies just like. I think it's the delay onset that fucks you. Because when you take a gravity bong, when you take a big hit, you know you're high now.
Yeah.
You eat the brownies like. There's no telling when it's gonna fucking hit you.
Like when it gets through your system,
Right, because it has to go when it goes through your liver.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like when I was in, like, when I was doing edibles way back when, my thing with edibles, with weed specifically, was that, like, it was inconsistent. So, like it could be the same strain of weed, like the same strain, it could be from the same. Like it could be somebody like I bought a bag of edibles. They were given to me, and I have half the bag left, but none of the bag is hitting me the same way. So one day I might have two, and I'm like I'm on Saturn, and then the next day I have two, and I don't feel a thing.
Yep.
You know, it would all be dependent on like what I ate that day, and like there were so many other variables.
Yeah, smoking was the most like
Smoking was we're there, boys.
It's different. I like
in real time.
I like the brownies high. It was a different kind of high.
Yeah,
It felt different, and I liked it. I just wish it was more consistent.
My edible days were more of a cerebral thing, whereas my smoking was more a physical thing.
I was opposite.
Really?
Like I like to fuck on brownies. I didn't like to fuck on smoking.
Oh, I like to fuck on both.
Oh, it's like the brownies gave me the extra. Like what smoking is just like I'm high and I'm like I'm sure I'm not. I don't got the rhythm down right now.
I'll never forget this time that edibles years ago. And I was in the car and I was gone. I only had I think two, but I was gone. And every thought to me was like sticky. Like it's like I would have one thought about something. It could be like how I'm just pulling this out because it's sitting right in front of me. But how phone cases are made, But then like I couldn't get out of that thought to like think about the next thing. I'd be like,
go back to it.
Fuck! It just felt like I was stuck in goo, and I was trying to get on to like something that of some sort of meaning, anything, rather than like this phone case. But yeah.
So the other side of like similar to vodka was I've tried to get into IPAs recently, and so I go to the liquor store across the street from the hotel, and I'm buying like porch beers. So most of the time they're going to be like some seltzer or something like that, just something that when I finish up work, just come back and have one or two. But I don't want to get like
fucked up.
Well, I want to get fucked up, but
not off them.
I don't want to have like I don't want to get all the way. It's just something light. Mm-hmm. So I bought a couple of different IPAs, and I didn't pay attention. Probably my fault.
Didn't look at the label.
Well, apparently I bought like a 13.5%. And that was not the speed for the beach. Because, I get back, I'm sitting there, I'm drinking. I'm like, I'm going to try one of these IPAs. And then somebody calls and says, hey, we're going down this place. Why don't you go? So, like, I just finished.
Chugged it.
The IPA.
Yeah.
And then I get on the bus and I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? And I go back and look at the can and I'm like, oh, that's why. Yeah,
double what you're expecting.
Yeah, I'm just crushing an 18-ounce fucking glass of wine.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it. So like,
what are your thoughts on Man of Steel? As we're going to venture into the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to curate which ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Man of Steel was great.
Yes.
visually great. The story, obviously I had a good guide for, pulling out some of the, the nuance to it. Bobby's always willing to
Giving the commentary.
Hey,
Let me tell you what's important about this.
pause that real quick. Let me give you a 25-minute diatribe on why this is better than anything else. But yeah, so it definitely enhanced, and I enjoyed it. I can see how, in my time, I've probably watched something else that's Superman or Superman adjacent, where it's not shot like this, which is why I was opposed to it. And
So-
had I gotten this first, I would have been into.
But this stuff it's shot more that way. Like the Marvel stuff is great, and
It's different.
but it's different. But it is a little bit more cartoony in how it's approached.
It ends up, it got more and more cartoony over time.
Yes,
I would say.
Well, it's a bit of a roller coaster, right? Because like Infinity War and that stuff doesn't feel very cartoony to me. But but then it goes right back into some more cartoony shit. But I think that
What happened to Zack Snyder? It's not good now.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the kid thing,
I don't know. Yeah, I can't say he's a hack because he did good stuff. I'm not sure his juices ran dry, so to speak, or he's a one-trick pony, one or the other.
Or he might have lost his mind.
Yeah, that too. Also, sometimes some people are great at one thing, and you're like, "Oh, you're great at this," and then that's all they do.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
I
just,
think-
you have no other.
So I
fucking
think-
spectrum.
You take that world that he did of those movies that were awful on Netflix.
Yes.
You take that world and you give it to a David Goyer, right? So David Goyer wrote Man of Steel.
Yeah.
David Goyer wrote Dark Knight. You know what I mean?
No, but it's the directing though. It's bad in those too.
So I don't think I necessarily agree with that. But I think that had that story and that world had a completely different writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was definitely not good at writing, but I was appalled at the directing.
Because
personally.
I think that a lot of stuff that fails with him is the writing.
Yeah.
The stuff that he does that's like you take Sucker Punch, right? So he wrote
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and the story's weak,
But
visually amazing.
But visually amazing. But Rebel Moon, to me, anyway, to a lot of people, to be fair, neither one of them were good directing.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't watch the second one, did you?
I did not.
Okay.
But my issue with the first one is just oh yeah, I've seen this movie. It was from 1977, George Lucas's Star Wars, where they go into the bar and they meet the ruffian, and the ruffian but neither here nor there. 300, when somebody else writes it, right? He takes over that. I feel like that's when he shines the most. Is when he buys into the world, can kind of reimagine it, and then put his flavor on something that's already inherently good. I feel like that dude Goyer, man, for the most part, always and never, of course, but when he writes something, he means it, and all he needs is the right person to kind of paint the picture, like the fucking Nolan shit, but that's Superman movie, just watching it again, it's man,
That's great.
it's just so much fucking feel in that movie, soul in that movie, So I'll tell you, one of the biggest criticisms it received, and you can tell me how you feel about this, was that there was it was too dark in the sense of lack of joy from Superman. He was too kind of morose and too sad and disheartened by everything, and that it wasn't a bright movie tonally and visually, and the amount of, I won't say disregard, but collateral damage that seemed acceptable, right, from Superman.
It's acceptable versus
cities are being torn apart. Who knows how many innocent people die in that attack on New York or Metropolis?
I think not caring and unavoidable are two different things, right? If you're
Right.
fighting a super powered battle, you can't avoid those
so-
things.
To that, I would say put the best of your ability, yourself, in Superman's shoes. Right. So you've been dealing with the fact that you're different your entire life. And just recently, you started learning more about why you're different. And then very much just recently, you found out that you're not the only one of your type and that they want to kill you.
Yep.
Yeah.
how are you supposed to be happy?
Yep.
See, I understand
Yep.
all that. And
Yep, I agree.
But I think the problem is that Superman, not problem, but Superman, I think historically and to the public normal, he's always been a bright, hopeful character.
The ultimate Boy Scout.
So
Yes, but that's late. But that's later Superman.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
after his growing pains,
right.
right?
I
Like
agree.
this period, yeah, he should be fucked up.
So
It would be
think there's a
weird if he was
difference-
not
I
fucked
think
up.
there's a difference there too. It's all about perspective, right? So he is a bright hope for us. He's a tragedy for himself,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
right? So like he's a bright hope for us in the fact that he's going to solve all of our problems,
Yeah, and expose us to all new science and
right?
I mean, to me, it's even more than that. To me, it's like, personally, to see someone with ultimate power choosing to be a good person is
Right.
what's hopeful for me.
yeah.
But that in and of itself has to be his joy because he gets joy from nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that, like, not only does he like think he's alone, doesn't understand himself, starts to figure himself out, realizes he's not alone, and they want to kill him, but at the end, he has to make a choice to kill his one last remaining relative. You know, for lack of a better term.
People have a problem with that too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm like,
so
and
I
the
struggled.
story as it's presented, like, he didn't seem to have a choice.
So I struggled with it too at first.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, I don't think the Superman and Batman versus Superman, I think feels a certain way about taking life because of his experiences in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
You know, so like to me, that's like character growth. It's like, okay, that was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. I felt like I had to do it, but I will do everything in my power never to.
I mean, it seemed like he was doing everything in his power. He did not. And
Yeah.
that was painful.
He's
for
begging him. He's begging
He
him.
was like, that was traumatizing for him. He didn't
Yeah.
want to do it.
100%.
He had to do it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
But I guess people can just say, oh, you could write a story different. I'm like, then that's not that story.
Right.
yeah, so that's why I think like the story of Superman is a tragedy.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right.
A lot of superhero stories, in their perspective, are tragedy. Like
Yeah.
fucking Spider-Man's entire life is a tragedy.
Yeah.
People only like him when he's a tragedy. People don't like when Spider-Man's happy. Only when bad shit's happening to Spider-Man are people happy with the story.
Right.
That's the only time it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
So it is kind of weird to me that that a lot of people don't realize that, and that like they become heroes to like people want to be like that,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not
No, it's
what
so,
you think it is.
It's so much cost. It is so much. You have to sacrifice so
It's
much.
literally you're sacrificing everything about yourself because you believe in something enough that it's worth the sacrifice that you're making.
Yeah.
And you're good enough a person to
Yeah.
be able to do it.
And
You're
you're
willing to do it.
and you're good enough in part because of the people that raised you.
Right.
And also, to be fair, like at the end, like the final scene or whatever, he seemed to be a happier person who's comfortable with himself. It's like, y'all just leave me alone. Like I could just
Yeah.
kill all of you,
Yeah.
or you can just leave me alone.
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
think
He
about-
seemed more at ease.
Yeah.
But
And I
think
like
about that too. That like, in order to be like to be happy, you have to have nobody know who you are.
Yeah. Well, he's got Clark Kent.
Yeah. I love
You have to be somebody else
Yeah.
for you to
Yep.
to feel any.
And
kind
even
of
then,
happiness.
you can't let them
and
find
you have
out.
to temper back all of your abilities and everything like that.
yeah.
Just
and not just your
You don't-
abilities,
you don't-
everything.
You have to
Yeah,
pretend to be a different person altogether
you have to tell a lie
every single day.
every single day.
Every
Almost
single
every
moment.
single moment. Yeah.
Hold back all the time.
Yep.
Constantly put yourself in a position of not fulfilling your own desires.
And not even your own, like you are endangering every single person who knows you and around you if
Yep.
they knew.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
it's a fun tragedy.
Yeah, but I'm with you, and I love the framing and reimagining of those characters in that universe, as everybody knows.
Like
But-
I think in the greater whole, he can be happy as a greater whole in the, like the superhero universe because he has not equals, but he has equals. He has peers. Right in this world where he's by himself is completely different than like in Justice League where he has at least 4 other people that shares his burden.
God level.
Yeah, I would like to see, in this version of Spider-Man.
Superman.
I mean, Spider-Man.
Oh, he's one of those.
No, because you just said Spider-Man. And I'm looking at Spider-Man. Go on vacation to like a whole different world.
Like just fly off and just.
Flies off to some distant.
He can't though, because no yellow sun. He's gonna fucking die.
Don't bring that into it.
Well, actually,
Well, there's more yellow suns.
Actually.
There's more yellow suns out
But
there.
like he goes to some other place, and it's like, more people have abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can just go and be like, yeah, I'll have a fucking drink.
or the other way around. Like even like, I might be on vacation just to be able to turn your powers off. Just be a normal person.
Maybe go
Go
to a
find a
different
red
sun.
sun.
He did that in one of the Superman movies. Didn't he lose his powers in one of his movies? So was trying to have a kid,
yeah.
and then he had to take the powers back.
yeah.
He's trying to
but
fuck,
that's,
buddy.
That's,
Yeah,
that's,
he was. He was trying to fuck.
That's not the good ones, though.
I know, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like the premise has been explored.
Yeah. Chris is here.
Hey, everybody.
Why have you been so quiet?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
I-
it wasn't
yeah.
his turn to speak yet.
It wasn't my
not
turn.
done.
I was trying to be respectful. Where you guys at?
We're still in Farrell's Nerd Week.
No.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
that's it. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
concludes
I
it.
forgot to mention in my nerd week that we had a crossover.
I have it in mind. I have it in mind.
Cool.
So, yeah.
All right. Wow. So perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we've been dragging it out.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. It's been a challenging week.
Hey, you made it, though.
Where to begin here?
Yeah.
So
Which airport? Tell me about which airport you were at, because we always start with that. And hotel, airport, hotel. Let's go.
well, so my first adventure to discuss was actually a road adventure. So went to
Thank
BotCon.
Yes.
So I'll talk about that first. So
That was a road adventure?
so Brian Brink, Kelly, and myself drove
Wow. How long was the ride?
8 hours.
Yeah. That's not terrible.
I did forget to tell you to take my information off that box. I hope you did. That was. I don't remember if my address was on
No,
it.
it just had your name.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So we drove over. We had to haul a bunch of shit, right? So and Kelly and I looked at it and like, I'm glad we didn't fly, because almost everybody who flew had some sort of fiasco. Like Ace didn't end up getting there till like 2 a.m. Roy and his girl came in like they basically were a day late because of the travel.
Day late?
Yeah. Flying.
short.
Spoiler alert, I'm almost to my wit's end with flying. I think I am in a domestic abuse relationship with Delta Airlines.
I believe it.
I just they keep whipping my ass, and I
I'm
keep
tired of
on
you
coming
flying
back.
too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
So we let's see, last Thursday, Brian and Kelly and I drove to Fort Wayne, Indiana, which I will tell you, interstates do not go to this place. I'm not kidding. And I got to drive all the way across Ohio.
Lucky.
So many things. So many things. One, what's that smell as soon as I got in Ohio?
Weed?
Weed and burning tires, probably. And they're so unoriginal in Ohio. Like the town names are Ontario and Ottawa. I saw a Nevada, Ohio.
And you
That
just
doesn't
look
make
at the Ohio and there's a...
Well, maybe those places, maybe Ottawa, Ohio predates Ottawa, the Canadian Providence.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
My wife had been sick with like a really awful migraine for a couple days. She's like, no, I think I'll be okay. Update. Kelly came out of the room for a total of 2 hours over the course of 3 days.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So she actually is getting some scans and stuff done to figure out what the
Jesus
fuck's going on.
I thought the room was that nice.
Well, it was not bad at all. It was a
Maybe the
Marriott
crowd was that
property.
bad. She didn't want to see all these.
Yeah. But we got there dinner time. There wasn't a ton of people around. Went and saw like what our space was going to look like. The next day, I got up and went to the dealer room and just started bullshitting with people. And I think I sent some pictures of like the Smart Robin and things like that.
Yeah,
And
blast in the past.
it's obviously you have the G1 stuff and like the vintage, even like the Armada, but like just to see the evolution of third party stuff, right? And truth be told, that stuff still holds up pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like that
Oh, yeah.
who made those?
Fans Project.
Fans Project. Yeah, they made those four.
They made good figures, man.
Yeah, they just seeing all that stuff, and I've said it for years, but you could have the second best of every figure and have a fantastic masterpiece.
I actually do a series of videos on that after you said that.
Oh, nice.
Like, and I like pull up Like I like look through Facebook groups and eBay and whatever and find out like how much it would cost to get it. And I give you like, look, if you wanted to start right now, you could get an entire Autobot cast for this much money.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
not
cool.
and it's not that much. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's not chump change, but it's like under $1,000
Yeah.
Where would
Compared
you
to where it used
listen
to
to
be.
this podcast?
on Patreon.
Oh,
Patreon.
Patreon. Is-
Patreon.com/
Bobby Skullface.
all one word
Yes. Yes.
There's
So-
no spaces and internet addresses.
underscores. It's underscores, bro.
Or dot.
So, Bobby, what's your thoughts on blockies?
I don't really know that I think a whole lot about them.
Oh, wow.
You know, I know they exist.
Yeah.
I think they're cute. They look like fun. You know, there you go.
Well, all right.
You know, I don't think they're bad. I don't think they have any meaning to me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in anything like that. But not just because it's Blockies or Transformers. I wouldn't have any interest if any of the franchises I'm into did something cutesy like that. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's not good.
Right.
I've never handled one.
Okay.
So to
You
speak.
didn't? I thought there were some here at Skullfest.
So I don't think I fucked with it.
Oh,
though.
okay.
So, what about Yellow Park? What do you think about their stuff?
I like their stuff.
Okay.
You know, once again, it doesn't have any interest to me, but I think they make a good product.
So, Blockies makes lots of different stuff now.
All kinds
They
of
make-
of franchises.
Not even that, but they have, even with the Transformers, there's like the little big-headed versions, little bitty ones. I have a bunch of what they call the Galaxy Collection, which is they're still kind of, cutesy, but they're fully articulated. It reminds me a lot of that Dummy 13 body, the 3D printed one we did. And then they have a class above that, and then their top tier class is their action class, and that's the Megatron from it. So I put that together.
That looks cool.
And I got they actually air freighted over the Soundwave first time it was available, so I have that in the Prime. Really enjoy building them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I think they look great. They hold together good. I haven't had any issues with the tolerances or anything.
Yeah.
So, but it was funny. I was, walking around there and just overhearing a lot of the vendors, the G1 vendors. And I say G1 vendors. These are the guys that have a bunch of shit dumped on a table. That's everything from G1 to movie shit. That's just like, you dig through it. I overheard several of them talking about how things like Blockies and Yellow Park is like taking a lot of the market share away from, I guess, people digging in bins for missiles and shit.
My question is like, this won't last forever.
Which part?
This,
Oh, yes.
like, I wonder.
Well, this
like,
table will probably be around. I mean,
Well,
with
this
the,
table was
with
pretty
the
new.
resin on it, though, pretty durable, I think.
Eventually, we'll just go to, entry. I mean, this universal end.
Yeah, that's why I say when people are like, oh, we're killing the world. I'm like, the world's gonna die regardless, man.
Yeah.
No, I mean like the retro stuff or toy collecting or old toys collecting and these
Right.
cons. Where do you see conventions in 5 years?
Right. Exactly.
We had a boom, right? And conventions in general. There used to be like 3 anime cons a year, and I went to all of them, and this was 20 years ago. But to where at the peak of it, that I remember before I quit going, it's like you can literally find a convention in the tri-state area every
month.
weekend.
Oh,
every
yeah.
weekend.
Even
you
if
can
you go
now.
out to Pennsylvania, like if you like
Right.
tri-state from
Between-
anywhere in Maryland,
Between here to New York City, there is a convention
every single
every
weekend.
weekend.
So,
almost.
but like it's a bubble though. It's got to be a bubble, right? Like at some point, either people outgrow this shit, or we die, or we have everything we want as our collective. We have everything we want. We're not looking for shit anymore.
It's I call it the churn, different from Amos's churn, but similar. That as I'm getting out of Mezco, somebody's buying those for me, and they're
But I'm saying that specifically like the
age group.
the age group,
issue,
right?
the
Sure.
like the how much longer are people going to be looking for G1 Transformers?
Right, like my kids aren't going to try to be piecing together a G1 Ultra Magnus, right? For
Right.
several reasons.
So, like-
one, you can probably buy a reissue or a bootleg that's brand new with all the pieces.
How
You
long
know?
is it going to last before like these cons just won't make enough money to keep going?
I don't know.
Are they
It'll
still
be
making a lot
time
of
for
money?
Something else.
Yeah,
Maybe, but like
the toy market,
it's different.
Does bottom out at a certain
yeah,
point.
because like after our generation, there's only like 2 more generations before toys aren't relevant.
right.
Like the current generation, which I believe is like 2 under us, or like I don't think they have the interest in. When they're 40, I don't think they'll be looking for pops.
I don't think not in the quantity that could support.
A convention,
Right.
a lot of conventions anyway.
Right, because I mean, like even like Transformers, Star Wars is like passed down generationally.
I mean, there's Power Ranger conventions now for that generation. like full on conventions for Power Rangers.
I know.
Third party.
Yeah, but it's also still the toy generation.
sure.
You know,
well,
that-
so
It's
our
you're saying
generation. We're
like
just
my,
the tail end.
like Charlie,
Yeah.
my youngest, doesn't give a shit about
Exactly.
toys.
That's two
Right.
generations. Well, I guess
So-
it's one generation, but like, yeah, it's I don't.
What happens to them?
Well, I mean, let's,
I think in
let's
our
use this
lifetime,
as an
conventions aren't
example.
going to be the same or like around nearly as much.
or what's sold will be different.
Well, so
Like what will be?
so this is a little
Labubu.
Vintage video
Labubus, yeah. This is a little microcosm of a maybe what we're talking about. So Mason, my oldest, bless his heart, got the collecting bug from me, and it's come and gone through several collections. Right now, is mainly it's his JoJo action figures.
That's fluid like you.
Yeah, but he has a huge video game collection, and for example, him and his girl will often play Wii Frisbee golf.
Yeah.
Because they have fond memories of playing it as a child. So it's more of a digital experience. But he still had to go buy the console and buy the game and the controllers. So there's still that purchasing to it.
It's
but
much more limited. There's some-
it is. It is.
you know, buying one console.
Well-
and a couple- or I mean, if you don't want to emulate, you can emulate on a computer. But if they want to buy a console and some game,
Yeah.
it's different than you need to fill a whole room with fucking action figures.
well, let's just humor me for a minute and pretend that everything's hunky dory.
Yeah.
But I think it is right now.
Right. Well, it
yeah,
is.
no, it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I see plenty of people our age that are getting out and selling everything and moving on to either it's car hobby or you know,
Retirement.
professional drinking, you know, gambling, whatever. You know, hey, it's a hobby.
I collect
He
memories.
jumps. the ones that you can remember, not the browns or the blacks outs.
Hey,
So I went to a podcast panel, which was Eric B, Derek, the Rusty Mechanic, and Scott M. So they all host a
Sony?
show. Hang on.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were just listening to names.
No. I was going to say they all host a show called "Do You Even Transform, Bro?" on the Realm of Collectors channel every other Tuesday. Sony from TM Reviews was on there, and a couple other gentlemen whose names I did not get.
He's like he's the Blockies rep.
Who is
Sony, right? Kind of.
Yes, he is kind
Yeah.
of a Blockies rep.
and Sam? Sam's Formers is in the UK.
Little Sam?
Yep.
Nice,
Yep.
dude.
So he was there. It was awesome to see him. Got to hang out with him a little bit.
He's great.
But they the podcast panel, you know, it was the usual. Here we are. What do we do? And they asked for questions. So I asked the only question you can ask at a Transformers panel is, where do you see third party in 5 years?
Yes,
and I
that's
will
the
tell you,
question.
half of those people on the stage didn't understand weren't around for the joke, so they started.
Wow.
And I finally just yelled, "It was a joke!"
Yeah.
And they moved on. But
I mean, it's still an interesting question
it is.
because things are changing.
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even listening for an answer.
Yeah.
I was just.
I heard
You're the guy who sent reels and never watched people's reels.
they somebody
You're
somebody sent
exactly
me,
right about that.
sent me video footage of it because they were like, "You got some love on this panel," and I was like, "Oh yeah." And then I saw the players, and I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny. I have a note here. Lots of Bobby love.
No.
Not just from that panel, man. Everybody, you have a lot of fans.
That's
in,
awesome.
in the realm.
can you feel it when people are jerking you off in another state?
no, because I had no idea. I had no idea it was going on. That panel was going on.
I didn't know if you're just like walking around the house. You're like,
No.
what was that? Oh.
And he's like, and the thing is like it would like
It was-
I'm not detracting anything from it. It was a very nice thing. It was a nice plug that they gave me and all that, so to speak. But like these are like the guys that were like shouting me out, like my friends,
Right.
So, like, it wasn't like it was
not
like some
rando.
stranger, like about. I'm like, oh, dude, making
Saying
an
that
impact.
to
It's
say
like, oh,
it was a lot more than that. I
That's
had a lot
cool.
of conversations. A lot of new people this year coming to the rock party that I got to meet.
new or nude?
Both.
I'm just going to say the first one for now.
Oh,
So-
hey, yo.
I was just saying that though to finish up that I heard you that because Derek was like let's make some, like give a round of applause for Bobby Skullface, and I heard you in this clip that they sent me just yell from the background trash.
I did. I did.
And I was like, at first I was like, who am I? And I was like, oh, that's fucking Pinkerton's dumbass.
Oh, man. And you'll never guess what the question was after mine.
What was it?
What's your favorite Transformer? Yeah, it was like an 8-year-old though. I'll give him
okay.
credit.
All
It was
right.
okay.
Yeah, that's
it wasn't
different.
like,
That's
if
a-
your third favorite Transformer fought your fifth favorite Transformer underwater.
What would your favorite Transformer order off a Checkers menu? Like we don't
Oh,
we
my goodness.
don't enjoy this shit the same way, I'm afraid.
See, that's a question I'd answer.
So I'll say the Grand Wayne Center in Fort Wayne is a really, really nice place.
How grand of it?
I don't know. It's apparently its son's son is in charge now. Grant, see, they have a minor league baseball team there, and the stadium's like you can literally spit on it from. It was a really nice downtown, but nothing was fucking open past like 8:00. They were still playing in COVID rules. I watched
What the fuck?
I watched 1,000 people come out of this ball game and walk down the street by all these closed fucking bars and restaurants. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
In Indianapolis, I found the same thing. If you're not in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
everything is closed at 8:00.
Here's a question.
Except for like 2 bars, and like you would be like, "Hey, what's that bar like?" And people would be like, "Oh, I wouldn't go in there." That's it's a rough crowd, and you walk in, it's just the normal people you see in
3
bars.
people living in the bar.
It's just the normal people in bars.
Yeah. But it was a cool venue. We were in the hotel. It's across the street, but it was technically connected. It was kind of convoluted to get there, but it was literally you had to walk across the street. But the Hilton is part of it. So, all right. So we have, just to clue you in, Feral Aroma Collectors historically at a Transformers convention, BotCon recently, we have a Friday night party. Like it started out just trying to shove as many people in a room as we can. And we did some stuff where like in Reston in Chicago where you get those, it's basically like 4 hotel rooms lined up. The 2 end ones are hotel rooms and the middle 2, basically they just make it into a big suite. We did that a couple years and the last year we did it. I don't know if it was the one you were at, Bobby, but basically we got shut down like an hour into it.
Yeah.
Somebody was complaining. So at that point we figured we needed our own space and we've had our own space. Had our own space this year. And the plan was that we were just going to bring in some food and drinks, keep it pretty low key. Well, at the last minute, it turned into we need to ask how much it's going to cost to get the venue to provide the catering.
Okay.
The 304s.
Have you guys ever had a $30 gallon of sweet tea?
No.
No, neither have I, because we did not do that option. So we had, it was like Ocean's 14 in this motherfucker, right? We had to, we brought in, hopefully the people that run the Grand Wayne Center aren't listening. Basically what we did is we were able to get in the room at 3:00. We were able to set the room. A couple things I was aggravated about. One, we had 5 round tables with 10 tops because we had 50 people. They didn't provide table covers for these round tables, and you guys know in these event spaces, it's a piece of plywood that's destroyed from years.
Yep.
So they're like, well, if you're not
everywhere.
getting food or drink, you don't get table. It's an extra fee, and we fixed that real quick with some plastic table covers that we just laid crisscross. It worked perfect. I sent Eric B and Joe S out said go to Costco or Sam's or wherever and just this is what we want. So they brought the food, put it in totes and brought it in, and nobody was ever the wiser, right? We had a great time at the party. We had a pajama party again. We had Kennedy's Village. I'm really proud of this as part of the realm. How many was it? I wrote it down because it was pretty impressive.
It was a toy drive,
Yeah,
right?
9 full totes of toys
Nice.
that they took back to give. So anybody that doesn't know, Eric and his wife Siobhan run a nonprofit called Kennedy's Village for sickle cell awareness. Their daughter struggles with that, and we've partnered with them for many years to do this. And this, I talked to Eric about it yesterday. This was the biggest haul that they've had.
Nice.
They also had we had we had a bunch of raffle prizes. A lot of us donated stuff. YOLO Park donated some stuff for it. So if you brought a $20 or more gift for the charity, you got a raffle ticket, and they drew tickets. We gave away a Supreme Optimus Prime. That means it's got tomatoes and sour cream. You don't know what Supreme is, and it's really hard to explain what Supreme is to people who don't know what
Taco
Supreme
Bell
is.
before.
Just making sure, Bel Grande. That was a lot of fun. The raffle, and it just warms my heart that we're able to do that for them. It's like when we did Toys for Tots who knows where that goes. But I know that these guys are gonna take this stuff and they take it around to sick kids at Christmas, and it's a good variety of stuff. It was 9 totes in the monster truck because they couldn't get the monster truck in the box. So, and shout out to Sam again. He won a raffle, and in one of his prizes was he won the Lego Optimus Prime, and he won I still had a Nelson.
Oh, really?
Sealed. He already had them, so they just did a live auction and brought in over $500 additional for Kennedy's Village.
That's awesome.
So, nice to know we're doing a little bit of good out there. We did our swap game, which Bobby would have hated.
Oh yeah,
which was
I wouldn't have hated. I just would have not participated.
which was a blast. We learned a lot doing it last year to manage it and make it go quicker, and everybody had a blast at that.
I think that shit for me is just like it's like the Winter Soldier shit. It's just like, they're like, when somebody's like, hey, we're gonna do this white elephant or this whatever, like in my head it's just like San Diego road car. It's like a programming thing, and my father's just back in my head like, don't let him take a thing from you. Wow.
Well, so we did that, and then the transition happened. So I've been talking about doing this for years. This was the last event that I am going to be involved with as the financial head of this organization. Derek is taking over that aspect. I'm still going to be involved, obviously, but I'm going to take that off our plate and let him manage it. And I think him and Sean have a great base to start with, and they have some really good ideas. And shout out to Scott and his wife Andrea. She's a beast, dude. I'll tell you, like, Kelly was out. Kelly normally watches the door, so she's like, I'll do it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And, we had it where if you didn't purchase a rock box, it was $20 to get in. Some people came in a little late. And Ace came up to me and it's like, hey, these 3 people just came in. And I said, well, I guess you need to go get 20 books for them. And Andrea said, without missing a beat, I got it. Just came back 3 minutes later with $60. So
nice. Need that.
It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I made a ROC spinner necklace, like Flavor Flav clock size with
nice.
And I handed it to put it on Derek. I'm like, it's welcome. Keys to the kingdom, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
Did you know that there's not a casino in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Gambling isn't legal everywhere.
So you're out.
Yeah.
You're out on next year's trip, is what you're saying.
Sorry.
So there was a Blockies competition. There's a video of this out there. It started out, I think there were 50 people in the first 16 to finish their kit with, they had judges. Sam and Sony were the judges along with Derek, and they picked, once to the 16. There was one kid that I walked up. I was a little late getting there, and Brian said, "You'll never guess who's here." I'm like, there's no fucking telling. He said Eric Tron, and I had to comb my mind.
Yep.
Do you remember this kid?
Yeah.
Eric Tron. So Eric Tron was there. He was in the Blockies competition. And man, probably the most heartwarming moment for me. I didn't even talk to the kid. I don't even know if he knew who I was, but he had a little crew. And they were all doing the Blockies, and they were all together, and one of their buddies was in the finals. Man, it was so cool just to watch. Cool. It's like, it just warms your heart to see this kid who's, tell you, Farrell, we used to do just basically live streams. Hey, we're just hanging out bullshitting, and he'd pop on there. I think he was probably 15 or 16 at the time. At one time, his mom walked in, walks in, and you can see in the background, he whips around, she said, "It stinks in here, open a window." It was that kind of silly stuff. But Eric Tron, if for some reason you're listening to this, it was cool to see you and your little clique, man.
I was hoping you were going to say Willie Slammo showed up.
He did not. Willie Whammo did not make it. I actually need to. I still haven't. I got to unpack this weekend, and I've got his rock box. I'm gonna hand deliver it to his doorstep. That's the kind of service. It's the kind of service we provide. So we had the party till, I don't know, I think 10:30, 11. We found this Irish pub that was open, and we shut it down 2 nights in a row. And there was probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 people, realm-related people that were at this fucking bar every night. It was just awesome to see.
That's cool.
Meet people hanging out, right? So, I don't know. It was a really strong event. They did have $5 cocktails at the where we were staying had a restaurant bar downstairs, and the guy was like, "You guys know what you want to drink?" I'm like, I was just kind of looking like, "We do have a $5 cocktail." I said, "Tell me more." It was some sort of peach mule, but after the third one, it didn't matter, Farrell, what
bet.
flavor it was.
I
drank more that weekend than I probably have drank in a long time, mainly because everybody bought my drinks. I didn't pay for a drink. all the time.
dude.
Flex.
It sounds like I
bring
wasn't
you-
the only one getting some love out there.
Yeah,
I'll bring you a 13.5% IPA. That
I don't need none of that. So one morning we were eating breakfast and somebody ordered cottage cheese.
Yeah, that's breakfast food.
Cottage cheese isn't cheese.
I'm not sure
No,
it's food.
It had never occurred to
definitely
me
a-
before.
Oh, God damn it.
You didn't have to show up. You could have stayed home.
That's one of my favorites.
Hey, shout out to Tyler for that one. He sent me
good.
that one. I just had to frame it up. That was good. I do enjoy it. Do you guys like cottage cheese?
Yes,
I know
I
you
do.
don't. I know Bobby
I do.
does.
No,
No? Like,
do.
would you eat it if it was there, or you just like, fuck that shit?
I've never eaten it.
You don't like curdled milk and whey?
It tastes better than it looks.
It's what the girl and the spider was actually. That's what curds and whey is.
I used to not eat it because the way it looks, and until like I realized it's just like
lumpy
ricotta
milk.
cheese.
It's lumpy milk.
Krista sometimes makes when she makes lasagna. Sometimes she use cottage cheese instead of ricotta cheese.
Yeah,
and it's
so
good.
It's a little different
You
flavor.
got a regatta.
I haven't had that either. But
Ricotta cheese?
No, of course I have ricotta cheese, but just cottage cheese. What kind of cheese are you using?
Cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never done that with lasagna before.
Yeah, that's gross.
No.
You would know.
You wouldn't know. I
would
thought you'd know. I think ricotta. It's a creamier cheese.
It's a good cheese.
So got home Sunday. We drove back Sunday. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of stuff here, but it was a blast. I had a great time.
That's awesome.
It's some of it's kind of a blur, but that's when you know you had a really good time. I did get tripped in the lobby of the hallway by a bunch of fucking kids, and nobody came and asked me if I was okay, and it kind of pissed me off. But then walking back down, I'm like, oh, they couldn't. Nobody even saw it happen because there was this wall there.
Wait, what happened?
I was okay. There were 715,000 8 to 12-year-olds there for some baseball-related thing.
Oh, okay.
And they were everywhere.
Okay.
They were playing and running, and I heard one of the parents that was sitting on this couch that was obscured from where I was that say, "Calm down, boys." And next thing you know, I take a step, and like the kid comes back in between my step, and I'm like, I can either kill this kid or I can take a bump.
Right.
So I
Just kill
just
him.
turned around, and that's what my wife said. And I think one of their moms was
There's a
using
lesson
the
for them.
ATM.
Watch where they're going.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, it was,
baseball
There's
fans.
715,000 of them. That you can
Yeah,
use
it's-
one.
yeah, they wouldn't have noticed.
These baseball fans are
I think Aiden or Caden or Hayden would have been all right.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
So came home. We drove back Sunday. It was raining. Kelly wasn't feeling good, but me and Brian we got home. I think we did 8.5 hours with stops. We hauled ass. Did stop at the same shitty rest stop in Ohio. They have Narcan at the rest stops, by the way. In Ohio. That explains Ohio to you. And Monday, me and Brian literally just vegged out, play with our toys that we got, and just we watched the almost. We watched the Bayformers trilogy.
Lucky.
Trilogy. That's like 7 of them.
Well, the first three. We watched the LaBeouf films. I'll say that.
The LaBeouf trilogy.
Yeah, that first one, out of context, like now, I really enjoy those movies more than I did because I guess back then I was like, oh, this isn't my Transformers.
I like
but
I do not.
The third one's fucking off. Like that makes no sense.
See, the third one I think is the best one.
one
Oh,
with
dude,
Sentinel
the
Prime?
plot is
That's the one with Sentinel Prime.
Yeah, that's one like Darker.
the
Darker
plot's
Moon,
got more holes than Cottage
all
Cheese.
have-
They all got holes.
They got holes.
Yeah, but the third one's really bad.
The third- see,
like,
I
there's
think
things that happen that like what?
The third one
Cottage
is
cheese
the one
doesn't
that
have holes.
the
Depends on how
Swiss
you eat
cheese.
it. Depends on how you eat it.
The third one has the most interpersonal
Yes.
relationships between the Transformers because it's
You're probably if you're looking at it from just that standpoint, you're
it
right.
has
Yes.
that betrayal of Sentinel Prime.
Ironhide gets killed.
Yeah, and that, like
My
all that
favorite.
shit. Like I don't know that had something to it. Trust me, I don't like any of them. Not a one, but I do think that one is the best of the 5.
7.
And then if I were to take the other 2 separately,
Yeah, true.
but I think it's the best of the 7 too. I think that actually Bumblebee's probably Bumblebee's probably the best movie.
Right.
Like it's straightforward.
And I think it's because they're focusing on one character.
The first one is not just by itself is fine.
It's
That first one, is a rough one. But I'll never forget my time in the theater. Opening night, row full of people, all my friends, and my wife putting her left hand on my right knee about halfway through and just said, "I am so sorry."
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I sold my Transformers collection after that movie because I'm like, if this is the designs they're going with, I have no interest in it.
Dude,
That got me in.
I took Jaina to opening night of Age of Extinction. It was like her first like opening.
remember this
night.
Yep.
And like she was a hardcore Transformers fan. Came back the next day, put them all on the shelf, never looked at them again.
I remember that distinctly. And Mason and I had a similar conversation because he popped in a couple times. He's like talking about that one. He's like, that's the one I remember because I had all those Dinobots and I thought they were so cool. Like, yeah, well, that's why they're made for children. So I made a critical error, gentlemen. I traveled the day after vacation, and I still haven't gotten my head back around it. It was a pretty shitty travel day, but I want to lead with this. Fucking dogs at the airport. What the fuck?
There are a lot of them nowadays.
It's ridiculous.
Are they support animals? Is that
No.
Oh, no?
It's your little shit-eating dog in a carrier. Bitch sat next to me with a dog on the plane. Next to me.
I've never seen.
She sat next to me, and I'll give the little dog credit. I never even knew if I hadn't seen her bring this dog in, I wouldn't have known it was there.
Yeah.
I knew she was there because she was all up on top of me. She's a big old bitch.
But
I saw on that plane there were two other people with just their fucking pets.
The dog was a big old bitch?
No, the lady.
No.
That's why you gotta say to a lady spilling over into your seat. You know what you tell her? Just like the kids, pull yourself together.
So clay face almost falling apart.
So I was going to Springfield, Missouri, and there's not a great way to get there. I had to go to Atlanta. Of course, flight gets delayed. Ground stop while we're in the plane. This is the dog plane. Sat on the tarmac while the plane, I'd never felt this, but the plane was literally rocking back and forth is how bad the weather was.
That's great.
For a long time. I did doze off during this time, and finally the plane took off.
Because it's just rocking you to sleep.
It was, essentially. So, Springfield, Missouri, huh? So that is definitely a place I've been now. I can't say I'll ever go to Springfield. And a lot of people come to fly into the airport to go to Branson, which is like, I don't know how to describe
Gotta
Branson.
call Branson.
Fly me to the moon like that bitch Alice Cramden. It's hard being black and gifted.
I thought Branson was friends with Clem and...
Oh yeah, it could be. Could be.
Now, are you guys familiar with Branson, Missouri at all?
Hell no.
I know of it.
Do you know of it from a tourism standpoint? Alex? No, okay.
I've heard Branson, but I
know there are people who put on
remember.
shows
Old
there.
white people go there to see musicians
Yes.
that nobody would probably care for. I mean, they do have other things there, but there was a lot of music. It was a very eclectic mix at the airport of musicians and just like people staring at those people because they look weird. So, spent a couple days there, had a work thing, did the work thing, went really good. Had to go to they had a social thing. It was at a bowling, like a Dave & Buster's kind of bowling alley place, which I bowled. I did awful, which was fine. But it was good to go just because I got to talk to people, right? That's
We still haven't gone bowling. Well, we were supposed to go bowling.
I know.
Yeah. And I want to do karaoke.
I do too. I want to do that.
I'm down all
I wanna
that.
do I know.
I just need someone to put down a date and time, and I'll be there.
So there's a lot of porno stores that I noticed in Springfield, like a lot of porno stores.
Now I want to go.
And there's a lot of
There's a lot of people with
billboards.
Blu-ray players there, I guess?
I don't know. It was
My people.
Yeah, Bobby's people.
Bobby's fans.
Who the fuck?
I don't know. Maybe they're all buying butt plugs and shit. Or they don't know
Well,
how
that's
to
just a
use
sex
Amazon.
shop. That's different.
Well, whatever. They normally go hand in hand.
That's
I would
true.
imagine, so to speak.
Hand to mouth.
or hand to ass.
Ass to ass.
So let's talk.
What a movie.
That
That was
movie
a good
ruined
one.
me.
It made me have a requiem for a dream.
I'll tell you, not for nothing, I jerked off to that. I know it's Pretty Baby, but I ain't pull it out for air. Just the thought of Jennifer Connelly performing oral sex was enough for me at that age to get one out.
There you go. So let's talk about yesterday. So yesterday I was actually off of work because it was Juneteenth and my company celebrates that holiday. Yet I had a travel day, which I'm just going to take a floating holiday later. So my plan was, all right, 6 a.m. flight. Get back to Reagan at like 12:30. I'll be home by 2. Oh man, that was a great plan, wasn't it, Farrell? It was a great plan. So let's talk about how that plan was executed. You see, much of this was outside of my control. So as I had already packed, literally all I had to do was get up, wash my face, put on deodorant, brush my teeth, and zip my bag and leave. I already had everything ready. Well, right before I was going to bed, my phone dings and Delta says, "We're sorry, your flight has been delayed to 9:30 something." I'm like, well, fuck. Fine, I can still make my connection. A few minutes later, "We're sorry, your flight has been delayed until 11. I'm like, well, that's going to fuck some shit up because I think I wouldn't make my connection then. So I rebooked. It basically, the app says you can rebook at no cost. Like, no shit. So I was able to get on like a 3:30 flight out of Atlanta. Would put me home at 5. I'm like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Although I have to deal with DC traffic now, I'll get home. So finally get on the 11 o'clock plane, get to Atlanta, and the flight's been delayed. I'm like, oh, great. Also, there's a really nasty wet line of weather hovering over the East Coast.
That's been bad.
I mean, you guys, I know up here when I got home, the trees and shit have been blown everywhere, but I got home at 9:30 last night. There was a ground stop. I watched an entire fucking movie before we left the fucking ground
It gives
yesterday.
me anxiety just thinking about it.
Luckily, I had an aisle seat for that one. But I tell you
I don't
what,
know
guys,
why.
I was uncontrollably angry. Like, I was afraid I was going to say something I shouldn't say. Because these people, that's not their fucking fault.
No, of course not.
But the thing is, I only fly once a year, and I expect to be 3 hours delayed, if anything. And when I book my connection, I book it with a 5-hour window because I expect to be late. A lot of times I'm not, but I'm just like, you fly so much. Why do you expect things to be on time? You just only setting yourself
I
a
don't know if he
disappointment.
expects. I don't think he necessarily expects. It's just he's working on a schedule all
I know,
the
but
time.
I'm just
so it's
saying, like,
we're professionals different than leisure.
No, but it's built in, right?
But why the fuck should I have to expect
You shouldn't. But I'm saying
for these motherfuckers not to do? Because I did
that's
the
the way
research.
the world works, unfortunately.
The domino
I
that
hate it
fucked
too.
me up here is that plane at 6 a.m. didn't fucking. I guarantee you the pilots timed out in Atlanta the night before, because all Springfield gets from Delta is Atlanta and back. Everything is Atlanta and back. So I looked, because you can look up, the planes. I'm like, this motherfucker, they didn't leave at 10 o'clock, and I guarantee you the pilots timed out, and that's why they moved the fucking plane.
Yep.
And then the dominoes fell, and there I am, a
Everything
fucking
gets delayed.
14-hour travel day. I did get to go to Waffle House.
Yeah, I'm in Waffle House.
There's been a lot of Waffle House
I had
talk.
a pecan
Love Waffle
waffle
House.
and my hash browns, and it was a super, almost off-puttingly nice and clean Waffle House.
Oh, I did not. Mine was sticky.
Well, this one was not. Very nice staff. There were too many teeth involved in the people working there. They apparently have some different standards, but
Shit.
no, they
Doesn't sound
cooked
authentic.
they cooked everything to perfection. But I'm home. I do leave again Monday for another trip, but I think after that I'll be home for a while. I did watch some stuff. I watched the new episodes of Love, Death, and Robots on
I have
Netflix.
not yet. I'm about to.
Dude,
I need to finish Endor first.
There's 3 that are just fucking fantastic. 2 of them are cat related.
Yes.
And one of them is like all these, it's kind of claymation, but it's like all these home appliances like talking stuff, and there's a fucking dildo, and it's wild.
What part talks on the dildo? Is it like the dickhead? Like,
I don't remember how it talks, but that's good stuff. I've always enjoyed those.
Yeah, me too. It's usually like a few good ones, mostly okay ones, and a couple of like shitty ones.
We still talking about dildos?
That too.
Just around
The shitty ones are
under
the
edge.
The uncleansed anal.
Do they make uncircumcised dildos?
I'm sure
Yeah.
they make everything. I mean, they
do.
They
Wow.
make dildos that look like this.
Well, yeah, they make the dragons.
I watch
and
those.
stuff.
The Bat Dragon, yeah. Those are the tentacle monsters.
I also, speaking of tentacle monsters, I also watched.
Do you see the one that's shaped like a baby, so you can give birth to a baby? It's like a little baby that's like curled up like as if it was.
I think
being
you
born.
are on a different Reddit than I am, buddy.
That's the only kind I know how to be on.
I also watched the Predator.
Pharaoh, why are you looking like
Jesus.
this? Do you not know me?
Listen, Predator mouth. There you go.
I watched Predator 2
I watched
also,
the
yeah.
Predator animated.
So did he?
Yep.
What'd you think?
I said I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stories. I enjoyed the individual stories. I like that they tied it together at the end, but I don't like the direction they took Predator lore.
Okay.
Unless they have introduced lore in the past where there are different tribes that do different things. Maybe this particular tribe does this, but I don't like it.
You get, oh yeah, I thought all right, cool.
Yeah,
Pharaoh's got a roll.
Well, hey, tag out, tag in. We almost
Enjoy the rest of the airport stories.
Yeah, look,
Moist eyes.
traveling.
look up fetus dildos while you're at it.
I will not.
Hey, you want to see some reels?
Well, one time, Pharaoh and I spent a whole evening together looking at post-op trans pussy.
And you won't look at.
R/man-made pussy.
I'm so glad you guys have so many things to enjoy together.
It's a variety of life.
See ya.
See you next time.
Oh man. So, anyways, I did it. I thought that was good. I enjoy that. I guess Star Wars is doing the same thing with the short animated. I didn't even
series
understand.
lends itself to shorts.
Yeah, I didn't understand that the Predator thing was that. I just thought it was one linear because I didn't even watch the trailer. I just rolled.
Okay. I knew it was a anthology. I did not know it was tied together.
Yeah.
This is like kind of like what if.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and honestly, I think stuff like that can help keep a franchise relevant to an extent. Whereas, well, we're not going to have any. I don't know how long.
Yeah, the animations have done well.
Yeah.
Their story to it.
Right. I'm just saying, like, gaps between, like, I have no idea when the next Predator movie or
Soon.
project is. There something?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's whetting the appetite, so to speak. And I watched on the plane while I was sitting in. My opinion of the movie may have something to do with the fact that I was sitting on a fucking plane sweating.
Yeah.
Why are they so fucking hot? Why can you not have a better air
turn
conditioner?
on the hole?
Dude, they were like, close the windows, open all the holes. We're going to bring around water. I watched Novocaine, which is, it's got
It's about dentists.
it's got Huey from The Boys. Quaid, whatever's Dennis Quaid's
Yeah.
kid. And he can't feel, I mean, it happens, he can't feel pain. Like,
Those people die young.
well, that's what his expected age is 26, but like
Yeah.
he doesn't eat solid food because he doesn't want to bite his tongue. Long story short, he ends up going to save this girl that is he's fallen in love with, and she's a cutter. They talk about that a bit. I just thought that was an interesting take to have in this. I don't know. It was fine. It's an action movie and it's silly. I enjoyed not having to be mad at anything else for an hour and a half in the airplane.
There you go.
So, and I started watching the new Captain America movie. I mean, what's it called? Brand New World.
Yep. So Joey and I watched it.
Okay, I watched about a half of it again on the plane till that plane actually did finally land. Mm-hmm. So that could be a great transition then, because I think that's about it for me.
So
Right after the show last week.
right after the show last week, I just had this thought. I was like, you know what? Maybe Joey wants to come over and watch this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And we sat and watched Brave New World. And I thought it was good.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Like, I was kind of
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I was like, this is like a solid Marvel movie. It's not amazing. But it's not far from bad. It just feels like most of the Marvel movies to me, which feel like just solid movies.
Yeah. Enjoyable. Didn't regret watching it.
It didn't
hate
have. There was no really slapstick to it. I mean,
No.
I guess the Joaquin kid was the comic relief, but
So,
it wasn't even that bad.
I said Brave New World, C+, 7.8. Good epilogue movie to close up the raw stuff from the first three phases.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view it.
Yeah.
Fight scene choreography was a little goofy.
Superpower.
Well, the man has
movie.
wings. So,
Yeah, but like it's the directing of it. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of Marvel movies, the fight scenes the shots are close up, which helps hide the silliness of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, in particular, like one of the first ones where they're like fighting in the hallway, the camera's way out. And if you just, like when I was watching it, it was like one of those things where it's like painfully obvious, like, all right, Falcon's taking on three goons.
Yeah.
Right. So he's beating the shit out of one. And he's kind of got a foot on the other one, but then there's a third one in the
They're just kinda
background.
standing
He's
around.
just kind of like,
That's the old like Bruce Lee movies.
Listen, don't ever look too hard at fight scene.
It was too obvious as a thing. I saw that too.
Well, like in the Dark Knight Rises, the cops are fighting at the end.
Yeah.
They're like doing aerobics.
The worst
back
one
and
is
forth.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Because the Jedi, like George Lucas was like, just do stuff, and like he just had them like swinging and kicking and
Yes.
ran, and like then they filled it in with battle droids,
Yes.
but in order to make it work, like
Yeah.
it's goofy as fuck. I said that I liked Leader.
Yeah.
Yes.
I liked
Interesting.
Red
acting
Hulk.
and good. Yep. Good. Looks good.
And then
Also.
I said Bucky should have joined in the fight at the end. I
I kind of thought that too, right?
I think that
I
would-
haven't seen Thunderbolts to see if that plays directly into that or not.
would have had a
I heard
good
that was a good movie. I want to watch that.
would have had a good vibe. And then I said I'm not sure about the actor who's playing the new Falcon. Not sure if I like him or
Anthony Mackie or
No,
the Joaquin.
him. I
okay.
guess
I liked him. Okay.
Yeah, I just I wasn't. I'm not sold on him. So, and that's about all I watched, with one exception. With all of the kind of madness going on in the world, that is actually getting kind of scary.
That's why I'm like, we can try and laugh about it. I'm just gonna not look at it.
I
Don't look at it.
So I laugh at everything, but
It was nice to be able to when you're like far enough away, but when it gets closer to home,
Yeah, so
it's
I
just
don't know. I mean-
it gets harder to laugh at.
so yeah. I'll say it should be harder to laugh at.
Yeah.
I think that I don't have much of a problem laughing at it, but that's a me problem. But anyway, so I did watch a documentary that's exceptionally well done, and I'm going to point it out to people. It's on YouTube, and the reason why is because it's like an hour and 40-minute documentary, full length documentary on the history of America, Israel, and Iran, and how they kind of all have intersected and maneuvered through the years. But I only mention how good it is. It's called The Secret War Between Iran, Israel, and the United States. I only mention it's an hour and 46-minute movie. I only mention it because it's exceptionally well done, and there is one fucking ad in it, the very beginning. And as soon as you skip through that ad, you sit and you watch the whole movie on YouTube, which I feel like is not usually the case for me. Well, you don't know these things, Pinkerton, because you pay for YouTube Red.
Trash.
But for us peasants,
Yeah.
that's very odd.
I mean, it's up to the
creator.
creator.
Yeah, but
I like that they did that.
Yeah, I just tipped my head because it made for like, and I've been watching it over and over because I'm like kind of going to sleep to it.
You want to get the nuance.
Yeah, so I've been kind of running it back and watching different things. But it is a fascinating history between those three countries in particular, because like it used to be for the longest bit of time that Israel only had one ally over there, and it was Iran. But as soon as the revolution in Iran and the Ayatollah came back and they told women they can't go to school and have to dress like like in the whole outfit, then it worsened from there, their relationships. But like it used to be like historically that Iran had a large issue with a lot of its surrounding neighbors over there too, which is why it allied with Israel for so long, because Iranians consider themselves culturally Persian and not Arab, and as a result, it put them at odds with a lot of their surrounding. But so anyway, they go into it and like the ins and ahs, and when we've kind of been on the same page, not been on the same page, why it happened, the little nuance to it. It's a very objective documentary. It's not trying to lure you into one side of thinking or another, but it's very conclusive, cohesive, like story of how it's done. So I recommend it if you're interested in the history there.
Nice.
What else? So I got a text. Well, no, you mentioned Juneteenth and holiday
Yes.
pay. So I at 1:30 yesterday afternoon, which was Juneteenth, Jaina comes up to me and was like, "Did you wish Evan a happy Juneteenth?"
What up, Dante?
Well, no, Evan specifically.
Yes.
So I said, you know what? I haven't. Let me go ahead and rectify that. So at 1:30 p.m. yesterday, I sent Evan, who you might know from our show, a text that said, "Happy Juneteenth." And his response was, "I'm sure the lateness in your message is in solidarity with me and my people. It is appreciated."
Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That guy's great.
So, young boys. So so to speak. And when I say young boys, I mean in their 20s.
Oh, okay.
So I work with a fair amount of young boys, and they keep me young. And I take pride in being able to offer a voice to them that they hopefully respect, to also help shape them into men, as far as mentorship, not as far as like being
get yourself together,
like pull yourself together. But little things from like, hey man, are you doing this with your retirement? Are you doing
Yes.
are you know,
Yes,
just
that's
things
important.
that like a big bro is supposed to kind of do, right? I take pride in it. But these young boys are going to be the death of me. I worry a lot about them. I think about them all the time.
Unfortunately, that's how boys that age are. If you remember yourself, and myself,
for sure. There's a fair amount of recklessness, and some of them. There's also like my job may seem mundane with the mopping and but there are dangerous chemicals and stuff. There is, and sometimes I worry that they're not always keeping it fully aware of how wrong it can go.
Yes. But you get used to certain things.
So I juggle with both sides. So like when I'm not like today, I'm not working, but my young boys are, and like when they're working, I keep track of what floors they're cleaning.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, every time.
Look at you.
Because I worry about them.
Bobby Worry Pants over here.
Yeah, I got it from my grandmother, I'm sure. But they're not helping in the sense that they are vague texting me in their drunken stupors.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Sounds perfectly normal.
So Gamez, my friend, and been on Nerd Rage before, host of Kitchen Table, texted me a couple weeks ago in the middle of the night with, I done fucked up. Uh-oh. So I wake up in the morning with that information, and I'm like, what the fuck? My blood pressure goes through the roof. I can feel it. I'm scrambling to try to figure out what's going on. And I finally get a hold of him. He's like, oh, no, I'm good. I don't know what I was talking about. Like,
take me off your random text in the middle of the night list, bro.
So then, same thing happened with my young boy, Melina. He texted me in the middle of the night just the other day. It happened again. And that's
Out of
it.
nowhere.
So in the morning, I know his girlfriend, but like we're not friends on Facebook or follow each other.
acquaintance.
Yeah. So like, but I found her. I'm like reaching out to her, like, hey, is he okay? Is he like, like is everything good? He finally texts me back at like noon, and he's like, no, I just dropped another $1,000 at the bar. Good.
Wow.
And then I said to him, I was like, next time, can you send a little bit of context with the I did it again?
Also, why are you
much
dropping
effort. There's too much effort.
$1,000? That's some lessons you got to learn, man.
Dumb, reckless.
So we
shit.
had a conversation about that, about like when you go out to eat with like a group of people, or you go out to drink or whatever, and like, the check comes at the end of the night. And like trying to split it up or however you're going to handle it. And like he was saying, oftentimes just to not ruin a vibe, he'll just pick it up. So like I was like,
That's not a good idea.
No,
And people get used to that. That's not good.
Well, so yeah, and it depends. Like, is it being reciprocated? Like, there's a whole conversation that goes into that.
Are they just taking advantage? Oh, I can go out to the bar tonight. And,
and also, it's just financially irresponsible.
Yeah. So like the other day, I went, a month ago or whatever. I went out to dinner with Chucky O, his wife Tara, who is just one of the sweetest people on the planet.
Oh yeah.
And then Tara's parents. And Tara's parents have a real good marriage.
Damn it, beat me to it.
But anyway, I went out to dinner with them. Now that's their family with me, Laura, and 3 Bambinos that now are all at the same table, right? So as soon as the waitress came over, I said to her, hey, us 5 on one check. Just to get that out of the way. So it's not weird when the check comes.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about it. I'm getting it right out of the way. If it gets a little awkward for a second because of it, cool. We have all dinner to work over it, right? But it is a thing. But anyway, so he was saying that like sometimes like just to keep a vibe going, like you don't, and I do understand that. So anyway, he was saying I did it again, meaning he kept the vibe going. But stressed me out in the.
It's
in the
very
process.
easy nowadays with Venmo and stuff. Like usually that does happen. You go out, one person pays everything, and then everyone else Venmos.
The problem there is like, what did you? I don't remember what I charged.
But the thing is, like, if you go
split by how many people's there, and
but if you go out with that many people, like, I mean, if you're going out with people, for me anyway, I don't go out with randos. It shouldn't be so granular. Like people would just be like, yeah, I ordered this. It's about this much.
Well, I mean, they can open a tab for anybody at a bar.
Yeah,
that too. I'm just
so anyway.
Either way, lessons learned.
Yeah.
Friday, this past Friday, a week ago from today, as fate would have it, I got a phone call at 12 o'clock from an unknown number.
That noon? Okay.
Yep. So I was like, okay. I don't have, like, I'd rather, when it says spam or whatever, if I'm not doing anything, I'll just answer it, figure it out, and then, I don't care. Luckily, I am that person. So I answer the phone with a hello, right? And on the other end of that phone is my brother, Ben.
Oh, random?
Agreed.
And where's Ben currently?
So he works in Frederick. He lives, I think, in Hagerstown.
Yeah, but why did you have an unknown number? That's
because he's irresponsible and his cell phone changes, So,
Oh, unknown. It didn't say unknown.
yeah.
number. It was a number.
Okay,
It wasn't
I thought
in
it
your
meant just as unknown. Because sometimes you get those.
You're
got
right.
you.
You're right. It was just a number I didn't recognize
yeah.
and didn't have saved in my contacts. So he said, it's Ben. And in my head, I was like, man, I'm going like, who the fuck is Ben?
Ben Stein, he won his money.
Right. And he's like, hey, just to let you know, Pop Pop died. So I said, who's Pop Pop? And then he said, Dad, his father, my stepfather, Big Richard.
Big Richard's.
Oh, Big Richard.
Big Richard's dad passed away.
Yes.
Is that his dad?
Tug's dad, Ben's
Tug's
dad, my sister's dad, like my stepdad passed away. And I'm probably going to do a whole wine and cheese segment on this, so I don't want to get too into the woods with it. But we had a brief conversation. He said he'd update me into the details. He never did. That's all par for the course.
You don't ever talk to that guy.
Nope. And anyway, so, and I got a brother in jail. Called my sister. My sister's like the one handling it all, which is for the best for everyone.
She seems to be the responsible one.
Yeah, of the three. So I was
that's the one you talk to, so it makes sense.
Yep. So anyway, my gut reaction. Now, I don't want people to think I'm a monster. I haven't fully processed how I feel about it yet, but I am sad for my sister. I'm sad that Tug is in jail and is, you know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with that? I'm sorry that my sister has to deal with all of the, like, she's the one.
Yeah.
Right.
All
So
the
she's got to
fallout,
deal with, like, she's power of attorney. She's got to deal with all the bullshit.
That's a lot.
She's young. She's got to sell 2 houses now. Like, it's a thing. And I'm sorry that is the case. Her kids, that's their grandfather. I'm sorry for them.
Did they all have good relation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. But my immediate thought, my gut emotional reaction, and this isn't how I feel now, but it was a visceral feeling at the moment, was 1 down, 1 to go. Like, that was my gut thought.
I mean, if that's your life experience with them, then
not totally, but it did make up a portion of my childhood, because we actually got cool when I moved back in to my mom's house in '98. At that point, I wasn't a man, but you
Not
could,
a child
you
either.
could put your hands on me at your own risk, because I'm
Fair.
not a girl, not yet a woman.
very Bobby Spears.
God. No. You put on Daisy Dukes and start doing meth on camera, I'll call you that.
So, we've been cool, and we've been cool ever since. And he's been good to me for the most part ever since. It's just, there's this other half of my life in multiple formidable years, So I'm still kind of processing all of that, and I get bereavement leave.
That's nice.
Yeah, which is nice. So yeah, that's. But I say that to say this: my niece is actually visiting. She's currently here.
Oh.
So I wasn't sure if that was going to ruin that, and which would have been understandable, of course. But my kids were looking forward to it. I know she was looking forward to it a week prior, up until whatever, and then I go to pick my niece up from the airport on Friday. No, what's today? Thursday. No, Wednesday. And my sister sends in our group chat, like, good luck, blah, 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 good flight. Blah, blah. And then later on, she's like, if you get lost, just look for Uncle Fester. Right. And she's talking about me. So I let it go. you know. And then she said something else. I think she called me a penguin, and I was like, "Damn!" Like, so I said, if you want to play, let me know. I will fry your ass up in this chat. And and she said, and then I just sent a little video I had in the tuck of her singing.
Oh boy,
and not singing when she was a kid, singing when she was an adult. And then she was like, "Uh-oh," and I was like, "Oh no, that's just the warning shot. I've got the juice is still safe." So yeah, so she's here. It was cool to catch up with her a bit. You know, she has a complicated story as well, and it's nice to check in with her, and it's nice to watch her grow. You know, and change and mature and start to wrestle with who she is and all those sorts of things. So that's cool. And yesterday we took her. She loves the beach. So we actually left.
What you hate?
Yeah. We actually left. I don't hate it. It's complicated, but like we left at like 5 a.m.
sand
yesterday
It's everywhere.
and went to Rehoboth for the day.
Oh, it's a nice one.
Yeah.
You didn't take her to the boardwalk.
Well, they have a boardwalk there. It ain't, yeah. So, but I
they
mean,
don't.
it's really one of those things. Like we're just driving down for the day,
Yeah.
doing a thing, driving back. So it's like you can do Rehoboth at 3 hours or Ocean City for 4 hours. Let's
Yeah.
just save the 2 hours of driving.
You don't get the fried Oreos though.
No. Although I'm
Dude,
sure
that boardwalk in Ocean City is like the background to an old cartoon. If
Yeah,
you run by, it's just the
it's
same
same,
thing over and over and over and over.
It's meant to be that way.
I know.
You can go anywhere and you're not missing out.
I got sunburned.
I was gonna ask, like, what
Yeah.
happened to you?
Sunburn here
Itching yourself?
and sunburn right here. 2 stripes I missed.
It happens.
Yeah, but it was cool. You know, I walked the beach. We were out there a little longer than I prefer, and it was hot as fuck. But it was cool that they were all enjoying it. I was
That was
there for it.
storming because it was like storming around here yesterday.
You
Yeah,
guys
it
probably
started
just
to.
missed the weather.
It started to at night, but and I started. I don't want to get too into it. It's not really worth it. I started working on a song that I had started like probably 8 years ago. And then I actually found the file recently, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can finish this if I want." So I have it now, and I've been working on it, and it did like come super natural. So
Like ghosts and goblins? And
like
shit?
ghosts and goblins, but it does. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make it.
Is there a falsetto in it?
It's definitely there's definitely melodies that are
Bobby
used.
singing.
But I'm going to do it and see how it goes, and then decide if I'm going to do something else too. But I might just do this for me. But yeah, it was cool, and I worked on that yesterday, and it was it's coming along nicely. And then the only other thing that I have is pictures. I've been talking about doing these pictures and these photo albums and making sure I have like my whole existence and then my family's history and everything. So on Father's Day, which also happened while we've been gone, I got 2 albums to be framed. One is of a Sleep Token record, and one is of Yellow Wolf's Love Story album, which is my favorite album, and I wrote off as being too pricey. And I guess they pinched their pennies together and got it for me for Father's Day, so that was cool.
Nice.
And then on Father's Day, Laura was like, "What do you want to do?" You know, and I guess fathers are usually like, "Oh, I want to, cook, grill, and have a beer,
Cook,
and,
grill, and have a beer.
you know."
Yeah.
I guess
I just drove home from Fort Wayne, Indiana. on
Yeah,
Father's Day.
yeah. So what I did was I was like, you know what? I want to start working on the project. So I got out all the photos, ripped them out of the photo albums, organized them by year. So right now, like that's why I was sending you guys those pictures as I was like coming across my grandfather and shit. But like sitting on my dining room table right now is just photos upon photos upon photos sitting on papers that are folded with the year that I think they belong to, and I've been scanning them in. So I have from December 1980 through December 1986 done already.
Wow.
You know, from my side. I don't know what Laura has, because some of ours are combined and some of them aren't. But when I get this done, it is going to be worth it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it's fucking cool, man. And like some of the stuff that my dad and mom saved, like when my mom moved out of a trailer and she got into an apartment, like it was a big deal. So like she still has the floor plan of the apartment, you know, like, so like I'm going to have that in my photo, you know what I mean? Like
cool.
shit like that. It's fucking cool.
I'm gonna burn it onto a Blu-ray.
Hopefully. But no, I'm getting them made. Like, so I have 2000 or 2022 and 2023 is already done, but they're nice. They're like 12 by 12 leather bound photo albums with the and they're nice, and it's nice that I'll be able to pass them down to my kids, but also that like they're you can order them again if something happens to one or whatever. Like there's a little, as long as the company stays around, which just popped into my head yesterday and then started to worry me. But cool, I think, and I'm looking forward to doing the rest. But it is like I am finding all this shit, like going through it, and I'm like, man, like what? And it is crazy, like to look at it and really study it, and you can like see how things are changing in the background of my life, and
just remembering who you were at that time, and it's a different person than you are now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And that's it. So I haven't had time to organize the notes.
Well, if we got questions today,
we do. But let me
here for 2.5 hours.
Let me take a look real quick through and see if there's anything that needs to be done. There's a new Jurassic World. I feel like we've talked about that enough. Tyler Perry accused of sexual assault. Who gives a shit? The Dracula trailer.
Another Dracula?
It's a PS5 007 game.
Oh, is it a game? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Smoke. R. Kelly hospitalized. It's a slow week. So I don't know if there's any of this that we actually really need to talk about. Oh, Gary Oldman was knighted.
Knighted, yes.
Let's make some noise for Gary Oldman being knighted.
Sir Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I wonder if he has any quotes in here about anything. It's actually sort of mind-boggling. I'm gobsmacked. With many of his critically acclaimed roles having been filmed in the UK, Oldman jokingly said, I've served the crown. To be included in the long lineage of extraordinary actors, artists, and others who hold this title fills me with indescribable humility and pride. It's an emotional, humbling, and flattering all at the same time to be recognized amongst them. Well deserved.
So if America was going to start knighting people, so to speak, what would we call it instead of knighting people?
Patriotizing.
Is that what that
You're
parade?
right. You're right.
Is that what that parade was? That parade was about?
Yeah.
To all patriots in the parade.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, so like
And so North Korea of him.
well, except it was a Biden thing.
What, the parade?
Yes,
Hold on.
The budget was passed and planned for this in
I didn't realize
2024.
That's funny.
Like if I was Trump, I still would have been like, hey, can we cancel this?
Yeah, and then we lined it up to be a birthday thing too.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, agreed there. But like, I think regardless of who did it, it just doesn't seem like a very American thing to do.
It does not.
It's ridiculous either way.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not for us. It's for the people who thinks it's cool.
Right.
And there wasn't
And
that many that were there that thought that.
There are people who thinks parades are cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I can come to Newmarket and see a tank every year.
Santa tank, dude.
Santa tank.
You ain't got shit on Santa tank.
Yeah. Matter needs to step up the game. We have to get some armaments. We have our train car.
Title of the show. You ain't got shit on Santa tank.
Oh, goodness.
There is a couple other little interesting things here. So according to the Nerdist.com, superheroes have existed for 300 years in James Gunn's new DCU.
Okay.
He says, specifically, the publication notes of the new DCU led by Gunn. In this world, humanity has been clued into the existence of metahumans for 300 years.
Wow.
That's a very different world.
That's a very different.
Wonder what side of the Civil War they fought on. There was one called he was called the sharecropper. Indentured servitude.
And then, if there's anything else, let me see here real quick.
That'd be the indentured servitude.
Apparently, Pedro Pascal is not dead, insists the Last of Us creators.
What, his character, Joel?
Oh, maybe, I guess, because...
He's definitely dead in the game.
He was definitely dead. I mean, I don't know how you come back from a golf club stuck through your fucking heart.
Maybe you become a clicker.
It says, The Last of Us did not actually kill him, and that's something that The Last of Us creators would love for fans to remember. People have very strong reactions to whatever controversial story decision we made. He, game creator and showrunner Neil Druckmann,
Fuck that guy. Anyway,
did a thing.
New
Everyone
Jared-
lost
that's the
their
new
shit,
Jared Leto for me.
and then I had to do that same thing because he did the thing. I love doing the thing. I thought it was great. The big complaints that I've gotten is, why did you kill Pedro Pascal? And I keep explaining, we didn't kill him. He's a man. He's alive. He's fine. He's literally in everything else.
Yeah, he is, right? Listen, you know what they should have
Okay,
said?
that's funny.
Pedro is doing fantastic.
That's awesome.
You can say he's Mr. Fantastic.
He is.
Yeah. And then let me see. I think there might be one other thing here. Original unaltered Star Wars hated by George Lucas gets first theatrical screening in 47 years.
Yeah, I read that article in some capacity. Basically, somebody found a print of the original film, and they showed it in somewhere in Europe. I don't remember where, but
So there is one other thing that we should probably talk about. And that is that Spaceballs 2 is announced.
Yes. Yeah. You immediately was like, that's not real. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not real. And then it was real.
It was fucking real.
and I love that.
What if
I do
I
too.
told
On
you-
multiple levels.
what if I told you I've never seen Spaceballs?
Really?
I mean, that's
hang on.
believable.
Backstory: I didn't watch Star Wars hardcore when I was a kid, so I didn't even get it. I'm like, what is this? I knew it existed, and I knew it was like a.
Yeah, you would
spook,
have to
but I
know
didn't
Star
care
Wars
enough
to
about
care
Star
about
Wars
Spaceballs.
to get it. Now watching it now, I'd probably think it's great, but I just have never watched
But
it.
if my comment to that was
Who's
like,
playing-
I love that we live in a world where you can't tell what's AI because ridiculous things happen.
I love that we live in a world where Rick Moranis is coming back.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the first thing he's done like. Since
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, too.
He just took it all. I was like, hey, I'm going to raise my family. Dude,
Yeah, it was great.
'cause
It's
his
like
wife
a
died.
Well,
good,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But that's a good
I would
dude.
imagine
It's
his
like,
kids are
I got my
grown by
priorities
now.
straight. I got enough money. I'm
Who's
gonna
going to play John Candy?
So who knows? The Spaceballs 2 trailer is
You can put anyone in a dog suit. I heard.
it opens with a scroll. That is true. A scroll, and it says 38 years ago there was only one Star Wars trilogy, but since then there have been a prequel trilogy, a sequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, a prequel to the sequel, countless TV spin-offs, a movie spin-off of the TV spin-off, which is both a prequel and a sequel.
Yeah.
Not to mention 2 Dunes, 7 Jurassic Parks, 2 Avatars plus 3 upcoming Avatars making 5 Avatars, 36 MCU movies with 2 different Robert Downey Jr.'s, DCU Attempt 1, DCU Attempt 2, an animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King prequel, 8 Harry Potter movies, a TV series remaking the same 8 Harry Potter movies, a whole streaming service of Star Trek, Alien movies. It says, hold on a second. It says Alien movies, 2 of which were also Predator movies, not to be mistaken for the 6 Predator movies that are not also Alien movies, 1 Prometheus, which is kind of an Alien movie, 4 Beatles movies, and Oppenheimer. But then it says, but in 38 years, there has only ever been one Spaceballs. And then it says, until now.
Nice. Well, I'll have to give it a watch. sometime.
So we might still
We
get,
should watch it. We should
so,
watch it.
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
for sure. So we might still get a History of the War Part 2.
Maybe.
Hitler on Ice.
Hitler on ice at last. Okay, and then questions. And if you want to send us questions,
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
we have one from Scott C. He said, hello, Nerd Ragers. Hey, Joey, what do you
Yo.
call a werewolf YouTuber?
It's not my fault.
Yeah, oh, you don't think so? You don't think it's your fault? you didn't start
Y'all
this
quit
shit.
stealing my
pretty
gimmick.
good.
Send them to me, and I'll put them on.
Like and subscribe.
That's really good.
That
might be
that's
better
not bad.
than it occurred to me.
That's fucking not bad.
Bobby, did you collect any magazines such as Outburn, Wired, or Alternative Press? Do you still have them? So I did collect Wizard,
Yes, I still have a lot of wizards.
Toy Fair,
Yep.
Do not have those.
and then The Source and XXL.
I had a ton of those.
And then Rolling Stone, like I would buy it based on.
I never liked that.
I have a lot of white dwarfs, so to speak.
I had a lot of White Dwarfs also. The magazine.
That's the original name for Chick-fil-A.
Electronic Gaming Monthly, Game Pro.
Yeah, Nintendo Power.
No, I was not a Nintendo guy.
Oh, well, I had plenty of those.
So he said also the Birthday Massacre is going on a co-headlining tour with Lord of the Lost starting January next year. Their first stop on that tour is at Baltimore Soundstage. I appreciate that. I'm sure he said that because in my recent rotation by Boogie Bob, I had 3 Birthday Massacre songs, I think, on there from their new album, but I'm not actually a huge Birthday Massacre fan.
I've heard of them.
They make like kind of electronic synthy rock. I like a lot of music that's adjacent to that. Like I like Ice Scintilla and I like Aria and I like.
All right, I'm lost. And that's fine.
It doesn't matter. VNV Nation and some of the like. I like a lot of that electronic alt synth rock.
You just sound
stuff.
like an AI answering your question.
but Birthday Massacre has always kind of been in orbit around, like it's adjacent to the stuff that I like, but I've never actually liked a lot of their music. But I do like a lot off this, like 3 off this recent project. Hey, Chris.
Oh, hey.
So now that we have Thrawn, do you think any more OG Marvel Star Wars characters will make it into current canon?
Say what now?
Now that we have Thrawn,
yes.
I guess they brought the old legend stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think that they're just playing it by ear, honestly. Like, I've heard that they're trying to get Mara Jade into it now.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The one that comes to mind is Jax Paven from the Coruscant Knights trilogy, The Fallen Jedi.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the one that comes to mind for me. Great trilogy of books if you ever are in Maryland and want to borrow them.
Then he said, sorry, Pharaoh, I don't have a question for you. I will say hello.
Oh, he's not here.
Yep, it all worked
Out great.
Esteban, Palette Cleanser. Hey, crew. Hope this email finds you well. So I hear you guys didn't like The Last of Us Season 2. I never played the second game because the creator fired his writing staff and took the story writing task all on his own. So when early reviews came in, I just stayed away. If you guys would like a palate cleanser, you can revisit the book and movie that inspired the game, Children of Men.
Yes.
One of science fiction's best stories where the origin of how we got here doesn't matter. What matters is how we survive and how we treat each other. Spoiler alert, we treat each other terribly.
Yep.
But here comes a miracle child that could change everything. But how do you keep that miracle child precious while deconstructing it to discover its secrets? I think this would also be a good film to see with Jaina, just to see if she picks up on the themes and undertones like the ringing in the ear. In the film, the main character is an exposition. In the film, the main character is an explosion, and it's explained to him that the ringing in his eardrums or his eardrums dying, a swan song. So every time something bad happens, we hear the ringing, showing that a piece of the man's soul is dying, as well as his hearing, until we get to the end, and the ringing becomes an angelic song because the baby is near. Just thought it'd help everyone's spirits with this sad movie. Best wishes, Esteban.
I've
Thank
seen that several times.
Have you?
It's a fantastic movie.
What year was that? 90 something?
No, I don't remember when it came out. But basically, it's set in the future where no child has been born for X amount of years, and the world's in chaos because of that. And then this girl is pregnant, and they're trying to get her to safety. There's some great cinematography in there. There's some one-shot stuff that's just mind-blowing. It's how they did it. They actually created this rig in a car that basically was a camera mounted to the ceiling of the car where they could have one shot of this, like 4 people in a car. It's really fucking good.
The next one is from Trey. He says, "What's up, Ragers? First time writing, long time listener. Well, welcome." He says, thought about something the other day that I feel would make a good conversation topic for y'all. Have you ever, or would you ever, drink your wife's breast milk? Would you drink straight from the bottle in the fridge, or just suck it right from the source? Smell some fresh chocolate chip cookies and run downstairs to find her cookies in hand, boobs out, ready to let you go at it. Thanks for the content you guys do, and I love to see how strong your relationship has grown, not only as friends but brothers.
We don't have kids, so the experience is probably different because you probably see it differently. But like, I think it's hot. I'm a perv. Like I watch lactation porn or whatever.
I'm down.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it only from the source.
Yeah,
never
it'd be weird
from a
to
bottle.
be from a bottle. It'd be weird from a cup.
It's similar to the kind of bottom of the cereal bowl.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's sweet.
That's awesome.
But if I was to be critical of it,
of course you would.
Speaking of palate cleansers,
I would describe the consistency as being anything but.
Cottage cheese-ish.
I mean, because it's not pasteurized, right? It's that raw milk.
Like sometimes
Raw
it's
milk.
sometimes
Watery,
it's, sometimes
right?
it's watery, sometimes it's thicker. Like
Chunky,
it's,
yeah.
you just don't know what part. It's a surprise,
Chunky.
and I'm not into surprises. I like my pepperoni on top of the cheese. Don't let me take a bite and have the mystery pepperoni underneath the cheese.
Mystery
I
pepperoni.
want to know
They
how.
have some. Sometimes they have
know.
some.
Yeah,
It's like-
Bowley's does that shit.
It's like a little bonus.
All right, now we got a long one, so to speak, from Billings. Buckle up, it's a long one, he says. We are cruising from Washington to Portland, Oregon, to take the kids to the zoo, and along the Columbia River Gorge, there's hundreds of giant windmills for energy production. I think man-made architecture is fascinating. There's been quite the scuttlebutt through the years of people complaining that the windmills ruin the natural beauty of the landscape. That brings me to my question. What do you all feel about man-made objects, dams, skyscrapers, railroad systems, etc., versus natural beauty of the land? Do you think one ruins the other? Start there.
I was in Cape Cod on vacation at the time. This was like 15 years ago, maybe. I was with a different girl even, and at that time, the sound is that? Yeah, they were planning to make windmills. Windmills. Is it?
Yep.
And I think the rich people. I don't know if it was one of the Kennedys. Maybe I don't remember. There were the rich people complaining that it ruins their property, their view. And I'm like, this is about natural free energy generation. Fuck your view. I mean, like, just not even considering the aesthetic aspect of it, like we're talking about. Just like the fact that, hey, this is a perfect place to put some shit for power for people, and you are prioritizing your view over that, and I think that is obnoxious.
So I feel like
It was different if it was something else, but it's specifically for that purpose.
I'll tell you, driving through the Midwest, actually this past weekend, tons of windmills in Ohio and Indiana. I've also drove through Iowa,
upstate New York has a ton.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
It's energy
Do
production.
you know the amount of carbon that it takes to produce a windmill will never be offset by the windmill?
I believe that.
I don't. To me, it's not about the carbon.
No, I know. I'm
it's
just
about
saying,
just
like-
you're just generating power. right?
Sure.
It's energy production.
You are, but
So I think
but if
that-
the point of it is to be clean, it costs.
To me, it's not about being clean. But to me, it's about producing energy.
So you don't.
More
what,
sources.
you would
of
be
producing
okay
energy.
with that being a reactor sitting there, which makes a whole lot more sense. But people are scared to death of them.
Well, the inherent danger is different, right? If something does go wrong with the reactor, which has rarely,
sure.
but it's disastrous,
Right.
Windmills has caught on fire and exploded, but the damage is far less severe to the general public.
Fair.
Like
Looking at it
you've
like
seen the
that.
windmills on fire and shit, right?
Yeah, it's a mess.
But it's not like a reactor going.
I think that like
I've also seen a dumpster on fire. So
yeah.
Well, I was talking about how I saw a car, like the husk of a car that was
Yeah.
on fire inside the road.
The so like you take like our houses, right?
Yeah.
If they were to put like 3 windmills in the back of our houses in that open space, like I get that we're trying to make energy. However, I did buy this home and have invested in this home with the plans of one day possibly being able to sell this home or my kids sell this home. So like I don't like the idea of it's just like they're trying to run those fucking power lines through everything now in
Yeah.
Maryland, Virginia, and
Big
everything.
stink
And like
about it.
and like some of that shit is like, man, like
it's for the they're building a what's it called? Supercomputer thing down in Virginia.
Data center?
Yeah.
There you go.
You know,
If you want
so-
your unlimited fucking reels and
You want
everyone
your
making
fiber
feeds,
internet.
everyone wants to be a content creator and stream. Like, where the fuck do you think all this data and cloud is going?
So I think there's a balance to be struck, like everything else. Like, and I get like, you know,
Yeah.
if it sunk the value of my home, that was like going to be something of like my lineage to hand down to my family because like, you know, it's like I would feel a way about that.
I mean, I'm of two minds about it. Like, you know,
Oh, you can
I
see
love
both sides.
I love architecture. I love looking
Yeah.
at architecture.
So-
And, yeah, but like if they decided to pave the Grand Canyon, no. I mean, everything. If they put windmills and we're not allowed in the Grand Canyon because of all the Egyptian secrets. But that's a whole nother podcast.
But I think that, like, generally speaking, I can appreciate both, but I'm more likely to appreciate man-made shit.
Yeah. Because it's
like-
created on purpose.
Yeah, buildings and architecture and railroads and like
art.
bridges and stuff like that. Like I'm more likely, but as time is going on, that stuff is becoming less impressive to me because everything has become so minimalistic to us culturally. I saw this thing on Twitter one time. It's like called like the culture critic or something like that. and they were talking about the difference in architecture and
Yeah,
things.
of minimalism. Right now.
Yes, and they showed like just like a park bench and like the little nuanced stuff that went into designing a park bench to just give it some flavor.
Yeah, like the
And
wrought
then-
iron curls on the ends.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
now it's just like nope. This
It's functional. Like
We need
that,
more-
That I
we
see
need
both sides,
more,
but I'm very much okay with minimalism just for the practicality of it, right? Just from the point of view of being a homeowner, of having a bunch of wrought iron stuff with filigrees and molding and stuff.
Filigrees. Look at this guy.
Just the practicality of how dusty and disgusting that shit gets and how short
Yeah.
amount of time to a straight flat wall, a straight rail where I can just
but
wipe
that's
it down.
not why they're doing it.
I know, but
Yeah.
like to
Well,
me, like
to that
I-
extent, my favorite architecture style is brutalism.
yes, same. Brutalism
Bobby,
or
think,
utilitarianism.
Dune 2.
You're just fucking a block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and it's just
an angled block.
oppressive and angled
Yeah.
against you. I
So
love that shit.
think about
very Kanye.
Eastern European.
Is it very Kanye?
Yeah, like all of his architecture designs are.
Have you ever seen the old headquarters of Oakley? It's like a monument to brutalism. It's an incredibly
What
awesome building.
about Bass Pro Shop in Tennessee?
The pyramid.
Yes.
But
I
I
look
know
at-
it's there for a reason.
There's a race track not too far from here that I've been to a couple of times, and like it's been
Horses or cars?
horses, and there's a
There's car one around here. I hear them.
yeah, I think that's gone now though. I think whatever you hear now is some illegal shit.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to go watch.
Oh, Fast and Furious. You love it.
Well, I think I think they meet right at this parking ride on the other side of 70.
Yeah, you can go meet some family there, bro.
Might.
But anyway, this
Can I borrow your car?
this
you just haven't taken that ride yet.
fuck. Oh yeah. So at this horse track has been around since I think like the 50s or 40s or probably 50s. And there's like little like poles that just prevent you from driving your car onto this space, but the poles even have like notches and ridges and like don't like they're just more interesting to look at than just like yellow pole. Do you know what I mean? Like
It's funny you say like, and there's the difference. Like we were in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they have this amazing cathedral style church
Dirty.
right next to a fucking Hampton Inn, right?
Right.
It's just like, and there's a ballpark there right next to this huge cathedral church. It's
Variety is nice. I think
is.
it's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't think either should exist exclusively. Even though I have a preference, like I think we should have a variety.
This one's for Joey. Do you wear your hair down at work or put it up like a man bun or ponytail? If you wear it down, have you ever been mistaken for a woman pharmacist at work ever?
I put it up sometimes. Usually it's down because I like to be comfortable at work. I usually put it up when I go out. Actually, like the entirety of Japan, I had my hair up. I had like a ponytail and like a emo bang going on on one side. No, I get mistaken for being a woman all the time. I a lot of time like initially like a lot of times I've been in the bathroom and people walk in and have to take a quick like second. They look like they're about to walk back out before they realize.
why is this man squatting on the toilet and pissing?
Yeah, they thought they might have walked in a women's bathroom for a second.
So Mason has hair not quite as long as yours, but he oftentimes gets "excuse me, ma'am" when he's at work.
Yeah.
He's like, "Huh?" We're like, "Oh, sorry."
I don't correct them either. I don't care.
Well,
Some people get
I
offended.
don't think he does either. He just turns around and they see that.
But especially from behind, if someone wearing like loose clothing, like wearing scrubs with long hair, yeah, you
there's no
assume
telling.
someone with scrubs and long hair is a chick.
He says, you mentioned a doc about poop crews. Got me
can't wait.
thinking about when
Is it out?
COVID. I don't know. Got me thinking about when COVID was just kicking off, and we had several cruises get stranded at sea for upwards of 6 weeks because they were basically quarantined and nobody knew what to do with the passengers. Extra food supplies were brought out to the ship, but passengers were stuck in their staterooms for weeks on end. My question was, which would be worse, the poop cruise with no power but able to roam the whole ship, or the COVID cruise where you can't leave your tiny 150 square foot room?
I'm perfectly fine being 150 square foot.
I'm-
as long as I have internet
yeah.
connection and power.
Yeah, as long as they're cleaning the toilets out and
Yeah.
they're bringing me food, I'm
Yeah.
just
I would take the 150 foot square room only because I really struggle.
especially if I had a balcony.
With poop.
I really-
I think a lot of people do. I think that's normal.
Yeah, but I really struggle with it.
I'll tell you, I'll go back one time. I'll tell you, people in airports, they be shitting. And I swear, you smell the shit sometimes. Like this dude, it's like old shit. It just smells different. It's like that shit's been in their body. You'll know that smell. You might not know it, but like this motherfucker ain't
It's been
shit.
brewing,
In 2
it's
weeks.
been fermenting.
It's been sitting in there just baking.
I'll tell you, because I
People at
watched
airports be shitting.
I watched a documentary on those cruise ships that were quarantined. And because of that documentary, if I ever cruise again, I told Laura, I will never, always and never, right? I'm telling you, I will never cruise again without a balcony.
No, I won't either.
Because if I get quarantined somewhere,
fresh air.
I need that moment to just look outside or whatever. Like
Oh,
I
you
don't.
got a little port window.
Yeah.
No,
shit,
I
shit
gotta
ain't
have that
shit.
balcony, man.
Yeah.
Just to know that's not the world, right?
Yeah.
I've never been above deck in my rooms on a cruise. I'm always below deck.
So that's me now.
Isn't that a reality show?
Yes, it is.
Bobby and crew. He says his wife, I don't know if he wants their name out there. So he says his wife went back and listened to all the NRR episodes, and she said,
Oh no!
How many thousands of days has you have?
I know.
And I have to ask why.
I know. She
so
said
many hours.
somewhere around 300, a Monopoly game was discussed being played and recorded for the pod. And you said, hold on, let's save that for 500 in case I piss you guys off for beating your asses. She wants to know where's the Monopoly game you owe us. I'd still like to do it.
Yeah, as long as we can all keep our feelings at the door, Bobby. Mainly you.
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
I'm neither a sore loser or someone who plays games to win.
I'm not a sore loser. I
am very competitive at board games.
I am competitive, but I'm not a sore loser. But I can be a poor winner.
Oh, yeah. I'm competitive in the sense I would like to win, but I never really.
Yeah.
It's not that important to me.
Get a camera mount above here.
Yeah, just film right
play
down
here on the table. Yep.
And then lastly, just wanted to say again how welcome of an addition Farrell has been to this damn show.
Oh, you hear that, Farrell?
Love that guy.
His constant quips and smarmy banter between any discussions has been a perfect fit for you guys, comedy and personalities. Keep up the great work.
And the thing I love about having Farrell here, I know you're not here, is like we talk about a lot of nerd shit that he doesn't necessarily but he always has a quip that fits perfectly for it somehow.
Yeah.
And he's up for it.
Yeah. And he's down to learn.
I mean, he spent how much of his life in Star Wars?
Yeah, and now he's moving on. He just watched Man of Steel.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
That's what we're talking about when you walk in. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, shout out to Phil on Twitter. In our notes, he was going to be here today, but he had another obligation. And shout out to Dante on Facebook, who I think I'm seeing tomorrow. I'm going to JR's for like the annual celebration of Bass's life.
Nice.
If you are, I need to give you something to give him.
Dante?
Yeah.
Okay, if Dante's going,
Yeah, if he's going.
because I'm not sure he's going.
Yeah, let me know.
With that being said,
Lappy Labius.
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.